good luck with that. But yeah, if President Trump is killing innocent people off the coast of Venezuela and Colombia, yeah, he is committing an act of murder, but I don't expect him to ever be charged with it. And by the way, folks are making it clear that Venezuela is known for cocaine and marijuana. They're not known for fentanyl that Trump keeps talking about. That's not even where fentanyl generally comes from. So that is not playing well in Trump's favor either. But nevertheless, we're going to go ahead and start the program. Let me make sure I am on Wi-Fi so that we don't have any issues too much here. But yeah, I do have better equipment coming. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and start. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal, depending on who the hell you ask. We absolutely got a whole smorgasbord of topics since we last talked. And by the way, somebody in the comments, Alex Murphy says, how do you know there's gonna be no food stamps? Because that's what they're announcing. We're talking about, I think you're talking about them saying that what do you call it? SNAP benefits. I know Pennsylvania announced it. They're sending out letters. They're sending out letters to the people in those areas that receive benefits, telling them there's no with the federal funding being shut off. There's not going to be any money. They're sending them letters. So if you do receive SNAP benefits, welfare or food stamps of some sort, which generally is now called EBT card or whatever. Food stamps is going back to us Gen Xers when they actually used to give you food coupons. But yeah, they're actually sending out letters in some states. I don't know if it applies to every single state. This is something you should check with your own local area if you're concerned. Because listen, let's not. I'm not going to go with the Republican talking point that everybody on welfare is sitting around lazy collecting a check. A lot of folks receiving benefits actually got a job. A lot of folks, some folks may actually have two jobs, and they're still making such little wages that they need help with food, particularly if they got children. So I would suggest, check with your own, your state, or if you got a social worker or whatever, however that goes, check with them, because it absolutely could be. Probably now, if this continues to go on, more states are not going to, this is going to be happening in more states. I know Texas and Pennsylvania for a fact, as of November, they're saying that it's going to be paused. I know those two states, but my guess is it is more. But I'm just going to simply tell you, check with your own local states. And I see in the comments, Neon Monkey says, watermelon man. I don't know if that's a compliment or something from the pits of racism, but I don't eat watermelon, but I appreciate the input. In the comments, Master Pimp. Now, I like that one. Master Pimp says, Missouri also. So Missouri is also going to be suspending their SNAP benefits. So continue. Have you must have a job in order to get SNAP unless you have kids? Well, it doesn't matter if you got a job or not. If you're receiving SNAP and they're telling you they're about to suspend it while the government is closed, doesn't matter if you got 10 jobs. They're going to suspend what you were getting to help you out. So getting on with the actual program, host of topics here. First of all, I wish I had the clip to play this, but my damn computer is acting up. Some of you folks may have already heard this. It was announced earlier today, not long ago though, but President Trump, because of his perception that he was wronged by Biden's DOJ, Department of Justice, is now demanding that the government, the Department of Justice, give him $230 million. Now, this goes out to my MAGA viewers, my beloved MAGA, that often suggest that President Trump was a victim of a weaponized justice system. Well, Trump strikes back. But keep in mind, if the justice system gives him $230 million, that's coming out of your pocket, my pocket, and all of us taxpayers. He is demanding the justice system give him $230 million. That just came in a few hours ago. And here's the good news for President Trump. When I say tired of winning, damn it, I mean it. It's his DOJ. So if he's demanding the Department of Justice give him $230 million, it's his Department of Justice. And in fact, the Department of Justice is now being headed by people that used to be his lawyers. So it's a really good chance he's going to get what he asked for, which has kind of been the whole it's kind of been the whole method of operation for the Trump administration is he's been getting what he asked for. So President Trump is suing the U.S. taxpayers by way of the Department of Justice for $230 million. And now he's announced, and I see in the comments, Tamar and Jay says, ballroom money. Remember Trump said the ballroom that's being built on the White House is going to be paid for by donors? Yeah, you're the donor. Congratulations. You're going to be the one donating money to that, sounds like. But just my opinion here, and maybe I'm wrong to some degree. I hope I'm wrong, but I do believe Trump will get that $230 million. I just do, because he's been so successful getting what he wants since he's been president. What did the man say? He's going to get tired of winning. So I do believe that he will get that $230 million. By the way, my computer looks like it's slowly working, and I do want you guys to, maybe some of you folks haven't heard this yet. I do want you to hear it.
Weijia Jiang at the White House, and I'm glad we are able to do so, Weijia, because late this afternoon, the New York Times broke a story that says President Trump is requesting, or will soon request of the Justice Department, some $230 million in, the word is, quote, compensation for the cases brought against him. And of course, Weijia, that would be reviewed, that request, by many senior Justice Department officials who, oh, by the way, used to be his personal attorneys.
And Major, that is the oh, by the way, that has so many questioning the validity of what the president is doing here, because as you mentioned, many of the officials working in the Justice Department, including the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, either represented the president himself or those in his orbit. Blanche was one of the president's former personal attorneys.
So do you even need to know more? The people that he's requested the money from are former attorneys of his. You know, do you need to see? Remember, one of his attorneys is also the one that went to prison and met with Ghislaine Maxwell, came out and suggested that President Trump, she said that President Trump did nothing wrong that she can recall, and then suddenly she was in minimum security prison. So his attorneys are really working hard for him. But yeah, I do believe that President Trump will ultimately get that $230 million. Oddly enough, he's demanding his own number. Now, the two, because he believes the justice system wrongfully pursued him, is for the raid on his home and the legal fees he had to pay and things like that. He wants his money back, even though he was not exonerated of hardly any of the charges. They just dropped him because he became president. We'll talk about that. Also, I do want to talk to you folks about the fact that Trump says he will meet with Schumer and the Democrats, but they have to open up the government first. So in other words, what the Democrats want will not be even discussed until they first cave to the demands of Trump and open up the government first. Do you think they should? Do you think the Democrats should work with Trump, work with the Republicans, let the government get back up and running, and then I suppose, and I'm going to put emphasis on this, I suppose, hope that Trump is talking in good faith and then starts working with them or talking to them after this? Keep in mind, if they open up the government, President Trump can say, no, I think you guys are full of shit. I'm not meeting with you. Just want to make that clear. Trump can change his mind on a whim on that. So we're going to talk about that. Also, this is government shutdown day 22. This is now officially the longest, or better yet, the second longest period the government has ever been shut down. 22 days. The longest period, I believe, is 35 days. That was also set under President Trump. So President Trump now is the owner of the first and second longest government shutdowns in U.S. history. How many of you think that this 22 days may actually surpass the 35 and become the longest? Yes or no in the comments. Do you think this will end up being the longest? because there is no movement from either side on this. And you hear President Trump say, I'm not even going to meet with them until they do what I want. So the Democrats just have to cave and do it. So we're talking about that. Last but not least, this just came in as well. I don't know if some of you folks heard about this. I should have, like I said, my computer's been down, so I don't have the clip to play it yet. But yet another Jan 6er is in hot water, really hot water. This guy is going to be in really hot water. In fact, the other guy, there's one that ended up losing his life because he got into a shootout or something of sort with an Indiana State trooper. These are the people that Trump pardoned. One of them is already deceased because he got into a shootout with an Indiana State trooper. One of the Jan 6ers actually sent a letter threatening to take the life of Speaker Minority Hakeem Jeffries, referred to him as a terrorist and things like that. He's been arrested, but another Jan 6er has committed, literally went from what some might refer to as an insurrection or treasonous act, got pardoned, and did the same shit again. So I want to ask you folks something, because there just yesterday also, I'm going to go to the box and start taking callers momentarily, but there's just been so much shit going on. This is a little bit longer monologue. Just this weekend, you probably heard that they stopped what could have been a major catastrophe at the airport in New York. Somebody had full plans to go to the airport with an AR-15 and plenty of rounds and start checking in passengers themselves, but not necessarily checking them in on any aircraft. Fortunately, that was stopped. If you've seen the photo of the guy, you would know that he is indeed no blue hair, radical left liberal. Now you got somebody threatening Hakeem Jeffries, and likely he too is not a member of the LGBTQ community from the radical left. Oddly enough, President Trump has been adamant that most of the violence is coming from the radical left. You notice he's been quiet on both of these? You notice he hasn't said a damn thing about what almost happened at the airport? You think he's going to say anything about the guy that threatened Hakeem Jeffries? So I just want to point that out. I want to hear from you folks why he is, because if this guy who threatened to take out folks at the airport had been left, Hakeem Jeffries was threatening to take out Mike Johnson, Trump would be all over it. But he's not saying a word. So why is that? He's the president for all of us, right? So anyhow, this is going to be the program. I believe there's a couple more topics I want to talk about as well, but we're not going to go into just yet, because Trump's special counsel, Paul Ingrassia, you've probably heard about him, found out he had messages, and the New York Times, I think, released this, or the New York Post or whatever. The guy once said he has a Nazi streak, said that Martin Luther King holiday should be tossed into the seventh circle of hell, whatever that means. Apparently, even a lot of Republicans saw him as too racist to nominate. Well, he just announced himself that he is dropping out. But keep in mind, even with all of that shit orbiting around him, Trump was going to still appoint him as special counsel. He would be the guy that would be over all of the whistleblowers and things like that. Why does there seem to be so many people from the Trump administration or the Trump's orbit that do seem to get caught up in stuff like this? You know, my heart goes out to you is meant because the guy has autism and it wasn't a Roman salute. Pete Hegseth tattoos are something to do with Catholicism, and it has nothing to do with racism. The messages that just came out from the young Republicans were just jokes, as J.D. Vance says, and they didn't have anything to do with real racism. Why is there so much of this stuff coming out from the Trump administration? What happened to the good old-fashioned days of vote for me, you ain't black, when people on the right could clearly see racism? They don't seem to see it anymore now, huh? So anyway, we're going to go straight to the box, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 10,000. Busy program, busy news day. Dividing Congress, says Brian Poole. I hope not, but I understand what you're saying. Told you dumb Trumpers swear they are the law and righteous people, while spazzing out. I swear they are super. He didn't say stupid. He said stew, STEWPID. Going straight to the box. We'll make it happen with Purple Lion. Good evening, Purple Lion. Welcome to the program. Now, there's a lot there. There is obviously a lot there. But President Trump, $230 million from the American taxpayers by way of the DOJ. What say you?
I think that's just insane, in my opinion. And I'm a Republican.
Damn. So do you agree with Trump that he was wrongfully prosecuted? Biden tried to throw him in jail, weaponize DOJ?
No, everybody's got their day in trial when they have to go. And then that's where you get to prove yourself.
Okay.
So the fact is, did he prove himself?
Well,
Easy go to prove himself.
Well, some of that stuff, particularly by way of Jack Smith, he never got to prove his innocence, and Jack Smith never got to prove his guilt because he got thrown out just because he won the election. Ain't my problem. Thank you for the hat mustache. But yeah, some folks obviously believe Trump's guilty. Some folks believe it was a witch hunt, as Trump says. But that is what he's also saying, that, the raid on Mar-a-Lago, he's going with the cost of legal fees. He wants his money back.
Yeah, well, that's not how the justice system works. If somebody takes me to small claims court and I got to pay $100 for the court and lose a day's pay, is the court going to pay me back?
You can sue him for it back. You might. You can't demand it like Trump.
You never get it, though.
Yeah, I mean, well, you got to think. But you got to think, if you're in that situation where you want your money back from small claims court and you're Trump, that means your daughter or son is the judge you're asking for the money back.
I would try to get the money back, but let's get reality. You're not going to get that back.
No, I don't disagree with you. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. So Trump getting 200, and by the way, that 230 million is not exactly coming from the sky; it's coming from us taxpayers. So now you voted for Trump, right?
If he was getting it from donors, then that's fine, because that's people giving him money. You can't use taxpayer money for that.
Now you voted for him, right?
Doesn't matter.
No, I get that, but I'm just asking. You did vote for him, right?
Yeah, I voted for him.
Yeah,
I don't want my tax money going to that.
Yeah, and listen, I don't fault you for voting for the guy. There's legitimate reasons to vote for him, but I do want to ask, how do you feel about his presidency so far? You think he's doing a good job?
Probably a C-.
That ain't a good job. That's slightly below average.
No, he needs to take more, in my opinion, he needs to get more on this shutdown. And even if the Democrats are holding out, and I don't care what people say in the comments, both parties are guilty.
Oh, yeah.
Of the shutdown.
I don't disagree with that.
My biggest problem is with this shutdown is that they're letting the poorest people suffer. When they could just, in my opinion, one of them want to have the balls to stand up and say, okay, I want to pass this one bill for the shutdown just to fund Medicaid, Social Security, SNAP, EBT, get all that funded. And then we can work on the rest of it. But get that done. Get the basics done.
Let me ask you this.
Nobody wants to do that because of the political game.
Right. Let me ask you, speaking of that, the political part of it, do you believe the Democrats should work with President Trump?
Absolutely, they should. Okay. He was elected, and it's their job, even though the Democrats are lost right now. I mean, that whole party is lost. And, yeah, you don't like him, but he won the election, and it's your job to work with him. Doesn't mean you have to like him. Doesn't mean you have to agree with him. But it's your job as representing the people of your district or whatever to work with the legislators and the executive branch is in power. Now,
I do agree with you. The Democrats don't like him, but you do understand that Trump has publicly said he hates Democrats as well.
Sure.
Okay. So
he always said that.
Do you believe that he is working with the Democrats? You're saying the Democrats should work with him. Have you seen any sign that he's working with the Democrats?
No, I said that a little while ago. No, he's not working with them. He's not even trying. All he's doing is running his mouth, just like the Democrats, like Hakeem Jeffries. All he's doing is running his mouth. He's just as guilty as Trump. They're both guilty.
So if Hakeem Jeffries or the Democrats did work with Trump, do you think that would stop Trump from running his mouth and saying awful things about him?
No, heck no. They ain't nothing gonna stop Trump's mouth.
So then I have to
duct tape that with chains and everything ain't gonna work.
So then, and I don't disagree with you, but then I have to ask, if he's going to treat them like shit regardless, what motivation or incentive do they have to work with him? He's going to still blame, if they work with Trump and the government gets back open, then Trump will just switch to blaming them for immigration or blaming them for radical killers or something. I mean, he's going to keep blaming them for stuff. So I'm asking, what motivation or incentive do they have to work with him?
It's their job and they have to work for the people. Now, if they were smart, if they were really smart, they would say, Mr. Trump, how about we have a meeting and let's let the media film us during the meeting? That way, the people can see what is being said of both sides, because both sides are lying. They're both lying.
I don't know. I gotta push back and say that I don't think now that if the Democrats are lying at that meeting, I do believe you'll have a hell of a lot of Democrats holding people like Hakeem Jeffries or some of the left for lying. I don't think the right cares if Trump lies. Trump can lie, and the right is going to just simply say they all lie. So even if you have a meeting, but they're not judging each other on equal terms. The right is just wanting to beat the Democrats. The Democrats are going to hold their people accountable for lying. So even if you meet on live TV, I don't see how it's going to work.
What's the difference between the Republicans taking those lies and the Democrats lying about Biden's health and his competency when he was in presidency? Same thing.
There's no denying it appears that the Democrats were lying about Biden's cognitive ability. But the difference is so many people were not getting hurt by lying about Biden's cognitive abilities. I mean, you're talking about but you know people are getting hurt under Trump. You just said it, and you supported the guy.
Yeah, because being hurt under the shutdown is both of them. You can't just point the finger on one side. Nobody planned for that to happen when you voted last year.
Right.
You can't predict the shut.
I don't disagree with that. But
that's really not fair, because you're asking somebody about a shutdown that you voted for, but nobody planned to shut down for it to happen.
No.
When you vote back in the previous year.
But what about Trump stating during the Obama administration that if the government shuts down, it is the fault of the president because it's his job to get everybody together?
Well, it's true. It is his job. You should lead by example. And that's one thing Trump can't do with his mouth.
So let me ask you this way. Now, obviously, with you giving them a C-, this does not apply to you, but I get a lot of viewers every broadcast that suggest that Trump is the best president America has ever had. Now, they obviously are MAGA, but why do you think they're saying that? I mean, we're in the second longest shutdown in U.S. history. I mean, the wars are still going on. People are struggling economically. And a lot of MAGA still continues to suggest that Trump is the best president America has ever had. Any idea what they're seeing that maybe you're not?
Oh, what they like is how he stepped outside the box of a regular politician.
And how has that turned out?
Some good, some bad.
Yeah,
I would say more bad than some good.
Yeah, because you're all the way down to a C-. So, I mean, listen.
I'm down to C-, because just like you were, Tim, in the past, I'm in the trucking industry. Trucking is suffering. The economy is going into a major slowdown right now.
I'm talking to a lot of MAGA truckers that don't say that. Give me some ammunition so when I talk to my buddies. How is the trucking industry suffering under President Trump? Because of what has he done that's causing the industry to suffer?
Well, the shutdown, number one. That is the biggest thing. The tariffs, I know why he wants the tariffs, but he runs his mouth too much on it, and he threatens too far with it. He takes it instead of taking it 5 feet, he's taking it 50 feet. And the threat among that jeopardizes the global economy. And I work in the LTL business for FedEx. You know, we're the biggest trucking company in the United States.
Okay. And
we see a slowdown. And if you look in the LTL industry, the less than truckload industry, every major company tonnage being hauled is down 6 to 15%.
Wow.
this year.
Now, I got a lot of truckers that I used to debate with when I was a driver over the radio and things like that. And they're all telling me still that this is not hurting them. Freight is moving. They're still getting paid a good wage per mile. They're not saying what you're saying. I'm surprised.
They're full of crap. All you got to do is look on the stock market and read the public news releases of all the big major trucking companies, and you'll see in their public release of their stock is that the tonnage they're hauling is down 6 to 15%. Every one of them.
Wow. Now I'm kind of baffled because CNN released a poll today that still suggests that Trump's they're not, the polls suggest that Trump is not being blamed for the shutdown, even though you're admitting that it's his job to get everybody together and he's not doing that. Why do you think folks are still holding him? I mean, even when it comes to the polls, he's not getting blamed for this stuff.
The one thing is, and this is where the Democrats are messing up on, is that the Republican bill is a clean bill. They're just saying keep everything as normal and let us keep talking about it. Instead of agreeing with that, the Democrats are saying, no, we want this or nothing.
Yeah. Well,
that's where it's at. If the Republicans would come and saying, hey, we want this plan to happen and this plan to happen, and then we'll keep the government running.
Yeah.
And they're not doing that.
Yeah. And Trump stated that he would meet with them, but they have to open up the government first. And I'm going to yeah, exactly. I'm going to simply say is that if you're a Democrat, is there any incentive or motivation to trust that once you do what Trump is saying, he's going to sit down and talk with you?
No, that's why they need the live cameras or some kind of live feed so they can show what's being said.
Wow.
And see, the thing is, I'm in government myself. And whenever I have a budget meeting, it's got to be publicly broadcasted, either by YouTube, Facebook, whatever, Zoom. It has to be done that way. They should be doing the same thing.
Now, I'm just kind of taken back by the fact that you're pushing this, having Trump on television. And I asked you clearly, if the Democrats work with Trump, is there any incentive to trust that he'll work with them after they open the government? You immediately said no. So I'm going to ask you, before I move it on from you, do you see Trump, the guy you voted for, as a trustworthy president?
I'd say 80% untrustworthy, 20% trustworthy on certain things.
Wow.
Because he is, okay, well, like with the MAGA is very heavily favored for the Second Amendment. And Trump is very pro Second Amendment. That's one of the big things that they really, adheres to him, basically, that they're strongly with him.
I don't know. Did you not hear him once say that sometimes you need to take guns away and then give people due process? Isn't he not the president that actually banned bump stocks? He's probably done more against the Second Amendment than any liberal in our lifetime, except for maybe Clinton.
Bump stocks was not under Trump. That was under, wasn't that under Obama?
No, that was under
when
Trump.
That happened out in Las Vegas?
No, yeah, exactly. That's Trump, who after Las Vegas started talking about you didn't need a bump stock, and sometimes you got to take guns away first and give people due process. That came from Trump.
Well, that's what needs to happen too, because I believe in the red flag. Was it red flag or what do they call it? Oh my goodness, now I forgot. It's like if you call suspicious of somebody, they can take their guns away temporarily until they get interviewed and put through the court and make sure they're still okay to have guns.
So if a woman says that her husband or her ex-boyfriend is threatening to harm her, you're saying take away his gun first and then let him have a day in court to prove that she's lying?
Absolutely.
So for the interim, he has no ability to defend himself based on what could be a total lie from his ex-girlfriend. You know ex-women lie.
Yeah, women lie. But you catch them in court. Now let me ask you this. As you're a Democrat,
okay,
would you be in favor of somebody giving up your guns for, let's say, 6 months? Is that going to be a total loss for you?
You're pro-Second Amendment?
Yeah, I'm pro-second, but I'm also pro-common sense when it comes to guns.
Wow. I've never heard a Trump supporter say what you just said. 6 months?
Well, yeah. Somebody could do without their guns for 6 months. It's not that big of a deal. Let's just get real.
Why the hell
That's my opinion.
You should be voting left. That sounds very left of you. Wow. And listen, I'm not arguing with you. I tend to agree, but that doesn't sound like anybody that leans right saying that.
Well, the problem is when it comes to gun safety and people safety, especially when it comes to a civil marriage dispute, marital dispute, that's dangerous. And it's been proven dangerous. And when somebody threatens or somebody accused of threatening, you do take away those guns and check and make sure they're sane.
Wow, I'm not disagreeing.
Because if you're not up front with that, let's get real. If you don't do that right away, that person can do a mass murder.
I don't disagree with. I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I'm just simply saying for somebody that's on the right side of the aisle, you don't normally hear what you're saying. And I got folks in the comments. One individual, that fucking goon says, "What a fucking joke, dude is on the phone." I mean, a lot of my MAGA viewers are on the YouTube side, and they don't like what they're hearing. I'm really surprised to hear that. But before
I've got 80 guns at home.
Damn.
I'm a very heavy pro gun, but I have no problem giving them up and proving that I'm right, doing the right thing for people. And because they're selfish, they are very selfish. I don't care if they hate my guts. I'm still pro Second Amendment, but they're extremely selfish because they think of themselves and not other people.
Well, C-.
What's wrong with America these days?
Listen, that's common sense gun laws that the liberals have been asking for forever. They would agree with you. C-. Do you regret your vote for President Trump?
No.
Fair enough.
No, because Kamala Harris was a loose cannon. Okay,
what?
Yeah.
You got Trump, and you say Kamala. You don't think Trump is a loose cannon?
Yeah, but less than her.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow. What is your definition of a loose cannon?
When she lies to the people right in the face of the camera on a serious question. Now I know everybody expects Trump to lie. Okay.
Why is that? Why is that? Why do everybody expect him to lie? Why would they just expect that?
Because that's how he is, and he knew that before you elected him.
So they knew they were electing a liar.
Kamala Harris said that she was an honest person, but she went on The View and said that she wouldn't have changed anything Biden did. That's what did her in.
I don't disagree with that.
She lied just about that. She'll lie anything to your face.
All right. Appreciate you coming through. Great conversation, Purple Lion. Hopefully the trucking industry, but under Trump, I'm not going to be optimistic about it, but I do appreciate you coming through, man. Thank you.
Tim, you have a great show, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Got great guests like you. Come on back anytime. All right. Moving on with the program, by the way. Tap the screen. Get the likes on up to about 20,000. We can certainly make that happen. I'm going to ask that you let your thumbs not be lazy. Real quick, in regards to my last caller, I do want to, I wanted to play it while he was on, but I gave him plenty of time. But I do want you to hear this. This is what we were talking about because some viewers have not heard this. This is President Trump after the Mandalay Bay massacre.
Well, the category, you've spoken about it, Mr. President. We've got violence restraining orders. They're called. California actually has a version of this. And I think in your meeting with governors earlier this week, individually and as a group, we spoke about states taking steps. But the focus is to literally give families and give local law enforcement additional tools if an individual is reported to be a potential danger to themselves or others. Allow due process so no one's rights are trampled, but the ability to go to court, obtain an order, and then collect not only the firearms, but any weapons in the possession of that individual.
Or might take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system, because a lot of times by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of firearms. They saw everything. To go to court would have taken a long time. So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.
And that is President Trump kind of echoing what me and my last caller talked about, suggesting that if there is some type of perceived threat, take away a firearm owner's weapons first and then give them due process. So like the example I used in regards to my last caller would Now, when Trump was saying that, would have actually applied. You know, if your ex-wife is saying you're making threats to her, or the school or somebody feels that there's something going on, they make a phone call to law enforcement. They show up and take your guns away first on the perceived threat. And then it is up to you to go to court and prove you are no threat to get your firearms back. You heard my caller suggest that it could take as much as 6 months. And I would actually agree with him. Certainly, if you're in a major metropolitan area where the court systems are bogged down and things like that, it could take a while. Not to mention it might cost you some legal fees and having to hire specialists and things like that. If somebody says you're crazy in the head, you're going to probably need some medical professional to say otherwise, because the one that the state provides is probably going to be on the side of the state. So this could cause problems, and it absolutely caused problems for President Trump. Because 24 hours after saying that, he had changed his tune. Many believe the NRA got into his ear and told him, you're going to lose a lot of MAGA talking this way. Anyway, continuing on with the program, tap the screen. A host of different topics here. President Trump talking about getting $230 million from you, I, and the taxpayers by way of the DOJ. His special counsel appointee, Paul Ingrassia, has resigned from the position. Guy was caught saying phrases like he has a Nazi streak. Martin Luther King Day should be tossed into the seventh circle of hell. Wow, what is that? And of course, Trump talking about meeting and greeting with Schumer only after opening up the government. Let me go back to the box. And Dencal, appreciate the Coral. Good evening. Welcome to the program. How many times has he changed his mind since then? President Trump changes his mind on a whim, Debbie. Anytime things go differently, he'll change his mind. $230 million to our president by way of the DOJ. Dencal, what say you? Good evening.
Hey, just go ahead and give it to him. Just go ahead and give it to him.
I mean, it's going to happen. I guess you're kind of right. Why even resist it? You know they're going to hand over the money.
Right.
So
his personal lawyers are the ones who get to say whether they're going to give it to him or not. That's like a no-brainer. Look, we can't right now. We're not in a position to resist Trump on stuff like that. Now, I do agree that people, I disagree with your last, commenter saying, well, it's their job to go work with him. The dude has already let you know he's not giving you anything. There will be no negotiations. It will be his way or the highway. Yeah. He's already told us after 10 years, he's got concepts of a plan for healthcare. He's not about to sit down with you and work this out before November. That's a lie.
But what about the pushback from the right that suggests that, listen, it's a clean bill. You voted for it last time. Now you're just resisting because you don't like Trump.
Well, in any negotiation, as Trump will tell you himself in the art of the deal, it's always about leverage. If you go with the clean CR, you give up all your leverage, and he's got no fucking incentive to talk to you about anything. He'll say the subsidies were due to expire in 2025. It's 2025, and now they're going to expire, and he will move on. He's not going to go back and be like, yeah, okay, I'll negotiate. My thing is, I say, let the subsidies expire. Let all of the Medicare companies raise, double and triple their prices, and then we can have a conversation with the people like your last guy who's talking about he's got a C+.
They give him a C minus. He gave him a C minus, even less than a C plus.
But then his excuse was, well, Kamala was a loose cannon. What in the fuck does that even mean?
Well, he didn't trust Kamala Harris. He believes that Kamala Harris would lie to your face.
That's the part too. In between her and Trump, who's gonna lie more? You know what I'm saying? Like we got documented proof. Remember, it was like his first term. There was like over 3,000 stated lies.
30.
Yeah. Oh, 30.
30,000.
And now they probably lost count now. I don't think they could count because he like daily, like minute by minute, he'll just come and just make up some shit in front of everybody's face, and everybody will just be like, Okay.
Well, you did hear me chuckle when he said that. 'Cause I'm like, you see Kamala Harris as a loose cannon when Trump is the president? I mean, like, shit. That's like saying I like to eat a lot when your best friend is Jeffrey Dahmer. God damn, really? I mean, so I saw that, but I mean, look, they were able to do a really good job demonizing Kamala Harris, and it worked very well.
And it was Demos is over here, Kamala. Kamala will laugh while she lies. Like what difference does it make what somebody's doing while they're lying? Trump will lie with a straight face. Like, he will lie while he's laughing. He will lie whatever his emotion is at the time. He'll just lie and just in your face and tell you about something that you know is not true. Just like he said, the rallies were small for the No Kings rally. They were small, and you know, it's not very.
I think the difference is, because you heard my last caller say he admitted that Trump cannot always be trusted, but he said 80% of the time he can, 80-20. I think the difference is a lot of the things that Trump says that are not true, MAGA doesn't believe they're not true. Like fentanyl coming from a country that is not known for producing fentanyl. Venezuela, for instance. They're not known for producing fentanyl, but MAGA believes that. MAGA believes all of the boats contain drug dealers. They don't, so he's able to get away with stuff.
Not just stuff.
Yeah.
And just like another one of your comments said, he bald-faced lied to everybody, and they sucked it up that he didn't know anything about 2025. Now he's bragging about 2025 and how it's being implemented, and all of the people are in his damn administration, and they got nothing to say about it.
Because they don't believe that was a lie. That's another one. MAGA, when he said he didn't know nothing about Project 2025, MAGA was echoing that sentiment. They don't believe he knew anything about Project 2025. That's why he doesn't come across as a liar to the degree that the liberals believe he's lying, because a lot of the things the liberals see as lies, or maybe even have proven to be a lie, they don't believe it. Weaponized DOJ, won the 2020 election. Biden tried to have him assassinated. They believe that stuff. So that's not a lie to them.
So if I tell you I don't know nothing about something, but the moment that it happened, now we got undercover tapes of the guy who was in charge of the Project 2025 saying it to other people, saying Trump's just going to deny it and deny it and deny it. Yeah. But we're getting about 40% done already. Then when he gets elected, he hires the same guy who was in charge of the whole thing, and now he's saying in his True Social stuff that he, like, yes, now, you know, these good people with Project 2025, he told us he didn't read it, and he said he never would. That's what he said.
Good people on both sides, perhaps. No, they're not going to. They're not going to see it. I mean, it takes a lot to convince MAGA. You know, a lot of the things you see some of the guests on the show, they call it exaggerating or alternative facts. A lot of things that the Democrats see as an outright lie, MAGA don't see it as a lie. Well, he's just exaggerating. He's telling a joke, or they don't see it that way. So the lie numbers for Trump from the right are going to be significantly less than they're going to be from the left.
So you realize you calling them delusional, right?
I didn't say that. You did. I would never call my beloved MAGA delusional. We are MAGA friendly, goddammit. We are MAGA friendly. Nobody's delusional here.
But one thing I did agree with your last caller was that when he said the trucking business is being affected, because I did hear, I think it was last week, that they said that they've lost tens of thousands of truckers. Because remember, if you can't speak English, like, you can't be a trucker in the country.
Right.
And so those people, when they got to go to waste state, like, they can't just keep doing it and, like, not get detected.
Right.
You know, so they said that they've lost tens of thousands of truckers around the country because they can't speak English. So that would taking away part of your infrastructure, your actual employee base. I don't see how anybody could just be like, everything's going smoothly, and everybody, like you said, some of the Trump people told you, like, nothing, we still get good money for our loads, and everything going just great. That's a lot.
Yeah, apparently it is. And by the way, it ain't just the folks that can't speak English, because a lot of MAGA believes that people that can't speak English shouldn't be on the highways. But the TPS folks, like the Haitians that are eating cats and dogs, they could work. A lot of them were working in Springfield, Ohio, but a lot of other folks had other jobs. You got some truck drivers that had TPS status. All of them are gone. I mean, there's so it's
Venezuelan,
yeah.
Cuban, all of them people, like they came here and they got jobs.
Yeah.
But they swear up and down, they was just at the unemployment office just raking in the benefits. No, them people was working. They couldn't, even if they wanted to, they couldn't qualify because they were working.
Yeah. Speaking of raking in the benefits, I'm sure you've probably heard that some states are going to be temporarily suspending SNAP for independent families with children and things like that, known as the EBT card or formerly known as food stamps or whatever. Now, should the Democrats come to the table so that, because there's a lot of folks in liberal cities too, not just rural areas of America, but in liberal cities, a lot of people receive EBT cards and help. Maybe come to the table and work with Trump for the sake of their constituents.
Nope.
Let people go hungry.
Hey.
What are you, the Fonz? What do you mean? This is people going hungry.
I'm saying this is the you can't fight fire with propane. Like, this is the exact leverage Trump uses against you. He tells you unless you do exactly what he says, he's going to let people starve. Like, sometimes you have to let people starve. Like, the majority of the people that are on EBT are the rural Americans in the heartland. The people who voted for Trump by like 70 to 80% of them.
Sometimes you
the
gotta
farmers.
Sometimes you gotta let people starve. But let me ask you this way: if people do start starving, who's going to get the blame? Republicans, Democrats, both? Because Trump poll numbers are remaining steady somewhat.
It's going to be the president of the United States who's going to get the blame. Just like he said, and he was right when he said it. If a government shutdown happens, that was one of the few times I can remember him telling the truth. When they say throughout history,
he don't lie that much, do he?
Throughout history, when they say anything about a shutdown, what do they say? They say whoever was it was Trump's shutdown. It was Obama's shutdown. They don't say it was the other party's shutdown. Like, history doesn't work like that.
Yeah. History don't really talk about Congress and the Senate too much. It's always what happened under the president. I mean, it doesn't matter if Congress and Senate get together and pass legislation and bills. For the most part, those bills get blamed or credited to the president. So, yeah, history. Nobody will be talking about this Congress or this Senate 10, 15 years down the line. It's going to be the president, because right now they're saying that this is the second longest shutdown we've ever had. The first was under President Trump as well. Nobody talks about the Congress under President Trump. His first Congress. Nobody even bring them up.
Right. So when people start going hungry, it's got to be the president. The president is the person who's responsible to bring people together and to negotiate. And if you understand what the negotiating is about, you got one side saying, we about to end these subsidies and we about to make everybody's health insurance go through the roof. And the other side is saying, fuck them, let them eat cake. Then what are the people who receiving the food stamps going to say? They're going to be raising hell out in the streets talking about, damn Schumer. No, that's not what they're going to do. They're going to say the president would not move off of his position to make sure those subsidies continue. That is why the shutdown happened. Now, it's a bunch of MAGA people right now that's, they've listened to Trump and everybody say it's the lunatic left shutdown and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, when the truth comes out and people start really, they get out of this MAGA box, this MAGA bubble, and they understand what the fight is about. It is about one side trying to maintain, halfway affordable insurance for everybody, and the other side saying, fuck it, let the subsidies expire. With no plan. But
what about MAGA country down in the rural South and things like that? Will they continue blaming liberals?
I mean, in the beginning, they're gonna blame the liberals, yeah, because they just that's just how they're set up right now. Just like right now, some conservative is in here talking about Trump is at work and the Dems aren't at work.
He's not even meeting with them, so he's not at work doing that.
They already requested a meeting. They went there, and Trump told them pound sand. And remember, you remember they already requested a meeting and got to meet with him before the shutdown, and he said, "Fuck off."
Yeah, well, here's what I don't get though, because one of the reasons we as a country voted in Trump, certainly on the right, is that he is a master negotiator. He's a businessman. He's really good at negotiations. Why do they not seem to apply that to this? Why aren't you negotiating? That's the purpose we put you in. Why aren't you negotiating?
I would say that he is a master negotiator, and the reason why is because he knows how to use leverage. But the problem with him using leverage is his leverage is people's lives.
Mm.
People usually use funding for projects and stuff like that, but he's literally using people's lives as leverage. Just like he said, "Oh, well, I get to fire anybody I want to under a government shutdown, so I'm gonna start firing people that the Democrat people are getting rid of Democrat projects." He's using people's lives as leverage to make people hurt more people's lives.
Well, his side seemed to think that's a good thing to do. I mean, the MAGA is over. The MAGA voters are overwhelmingly favorable of President Trump taking out revenge on the liberals. I mean, they believe the liberals treated him horrible, tried to prevent him from running again, tried to bankrupt him, tried to kill him. So they're happy with what's going on.
Yeah, and you got Master Street Teacher over here talking about the Democrats want $1.5 trillion. He believes that shit that they told him. He doesn't understand how much money is $1.5 trillion. And no Democrat wants to give illegal immigrants $1.5 trillion. That's like giving them a whole fucking country. What is he talking about?
It makes me wonder where these numbers are coming from. Just like Trump said,
you know where they come from, Tim. You listen to Trump say them every day if you listen to Fox News.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the 230 million that he is demanding, like, God, that's like $250 million. I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, they imposed, they took you to court, was threatening to lock you up or whatever. Yeah, you had to pay legal fees, but $250 million? I mean, like, where is that coming from?
Him, just like he stopped 9 wars, and the next day one of the wars, the ceasefire ended, and he's still claiming 9 wars.
But as I keep saying, those are not lies; those are exaggerations. That is why, and that is why when we talk about who lies the most, liberals lie more than Trump does, because they don't count that stuff as lies. Those are just, the numbers, the 1.3 trillion or whatever this viewer is talking about. Trump demanding 230 million, claiming that's how much he's just exaggerating a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, people exaggerate. Almost all politicians exaggerate. I could get with that. But when your numbers just start compounding like daily with no rationale to them, you can start out at 200 million, and the next thing you know, these Jews is running around talking about $1.5 trillion. Like, we didn't spend that much on the damn. We spent that much on the damn, the Afghan war, but they talking about that's what the Dems are fighting for, so we can give the illegals all of this free shit.
That's what was happening even during the during the illegal when he was campaigning, talking about how many illegals are in this country. Because I went to a couple of his rallies when he was campaigning, and I went to one rally where the second he was talking about how many millions of illegals are in this country under Biden. The two rallies I went to were not more than a month and a half apart, and his numbers had changed by almost double. So he went from like 10 million to 18, like 8 million people have come in a month. I mean, he really blew it up and said 10 million under Biden, the first rally. The next rally he was saying there's 18 million in the country under Biden. Like 8 million have came in the last 6. I mean, just
right. He started and by the time he left office, he was saying what? 20 million.
It works
20
though.
million people.
Didn't Cal? It works. If the guy ran again, he could probably win. It works. I can't hate on the guy. What he's doing is working.
Right. Well, I'll just say that before I go. One thing we mentioned the last time. One thing I mentioned the last time I talked. Ask these MAGAs how they feel, and I'm going to do a Trump. It was 20 billion we was giving to Argentina. Now it's 40 billion. Ask them how they feel about $40 billion of our tax money going to a country who has taken all of our farmers' soybean production, and now they selling all of the soybeans to China. We just came and bailed them out. So those Argentina people can get free health care, free education, all because Trump said, I like the guy.
Yeah. I'll give you an answer on the other side, but then Cal, as always, it's a pleasure. Thanks for coming through. All right. Yeah. And by the way, the answer is I debated, I think MAGA Reacts or one of my MAGA viewers, and they stated that Trump believes that Argentina could be a really good ally to have in the in South America. So that's why he's bailing them out. You heard Trump say on television that those people are starving or whatever, and they needed the money. That was the reason he gave. One of my MAGA viewers said, "Look, it would be a good, Argentina could be a good ally to have down in South America." Now, Trump campaigned on America first. He wasn't going to be sending money overseas. They're not going to be giving money to the Ukraine, and got rid of USAID, not taking in foreigners to let them be on our dough. All of a sudden, now he's sending money to Argentina, and MAGA kind of silent on it. Most MAGA's not really complaining about it. But fact is, he didn't campaign on bailing out a foreign nation. They're totally okay with it. I don't know why, but we'll continue on. By the way, tap the screen. A lot of lazy thumbs in here. Tap the screen. Get your boy on up to 30,000. Help your boy get the hat and mustache goal. We often ask that to help support the program. Certainly going to be switching over to better equipment soon. So you'll be noticing some changes in the show, certainly with the Wi-Fi, because I got enough shit going that sometimes I know the program buffers on some of the platforms. So we're gonna double that. But anyway, help your boy with the hat and mustache go. Looking in the comments, you don't know why. Takesha, I'm gonna say I don't know why. Yes, I'm gonna say I don't know why. Real quick, one of the stories we haven't talked about much, I meant to ask my last caller, and I seen Honest Opinion says you need to get some new callers. We don't have any issue with folks coming over to TikTok. Doesn't matter what your politics is. We've made it clear. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. How many times do I have to tell you we're MAGA friendly? MAGA, I'm a preferred guest. If you're MAGA, come on a damn program. You get to state whatever the hell you want. We don't have any blocks or censorship on your comments. You can be critical of anybody on the damn program, including yours truly. You see that every show. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. So if you want new guests, be a new guest. We don't have a problem with you coming over. By the way, you can go to Tim Liberals on Facebook. We're live there now. You can come up live on there and on Instagram, the Handsome Liberal on Instagram. We're live there right now as well. Come on up. As Bob Barker used to say, come on down. You can be the next contestant. How's that Ukraine deal going? What Ukraine deal? President Trump is not giving Ukraine any damn thing. The stuff that they do get that comes through America is being paid for by the European Union. And Trump just snubbed Zelensky on receiving Tomahawks. And the minute he did that, Putin decided, well, ain't no need to meet with him now. Putin was going to meet with Trump in, in Hungary, in the nation of Hungary. Even Zelensky said that the only reason Putin wanted to meet with Trump is because there was a threat of the Ukrainians receiving tomahawks. The minute he said the Ukrainians are not getting tomahawks, Putin was like, well, shit, we don't need to meet. And there is no meeting coming up. Anyway, looking in the comments here, would you pay $100,000 cancer bill? If I was dying of cancer, I'm going to find, I don't care if I got to sell some ass to stay alive. I'm going to sell some ass. Doesn't matter. Yeah, listen, I don't have $100,000 to pay $100,000 cancer bills outside of my financial range, but I'll hawk everything I can. My primary goal is self-preservation. I'm going to do anything. I'll take somebody out to stay alive. So, hell yeah, I'll be homeless to stay alive. So I'll give you that answer. I watch on YouTube. Guess I had to get the phone to give you a thumb. Appreciate that, Locust Deerfield. This is what we're talking about here. I just want to play this before we go to the box. Tap the screen. We'll take the next caller at 30 Thou on TikTok. Help your boy out with the
his actions on January 6th is under.
Help your boy out with the hat and mustache. Go. I want you to hear this stuff. We haven't got around to this yet, but I think it is worthy of discussion.
Police say a man pardoned for his actions on January 6th is under arrest after allegedly threatening to kill Hakeem Jeffries. New York police say the 34-year-old suspect is charged with making a terroristic threat against the House Minority Leader. Let's bring in ABC's Alex Mallon for more on that. So, Alex, what's the latest here?
Yeah. Thank you, Mike.
So we know that Christopher Moynihan was taken into custody on Saturday under charges by the New York State Police that he made terroristic threats against Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries. Those included texts that he was sending to an unidentified individual that included saying, quote, "I cannot allow this terrorist to live, and even if I am hated, he must be eliminated." Now, obviously, this comes at a time of real rising political violence and fears that people are going to move forward and acting on those threats across the country. This was allegedly in advance of an event that Hakeem Jeffries was set to attend in New York. And so police were obviously quick to make this arrest. Now, Moynihan was previously charged in connection with the attack on the Capitol, and investigators described him as one of the first to enter the building that day. He was charged with a felony obstruction of official proceeding and sentenced to 21 months in prison. At the time of his pardon, he was out of custody. He had already been released from prison, but obviously this reflects a lot of concerns that we heard from law enforcement after President Trump issued those vast pardons of nearly all the 1,590 people who were charged in connection with the Capitol attack, that they might be a risk of recidivism, and they might.
And there is some recidivism among the crowd. Now, I just want to say this: you hear the right suggesting that the liberals are soft on crime and they let people out. We've heard of everybody from Lincoln Riley, who lost her life to an immigrant that had been in the system, and the Democrats didn't keep him in the system, so he went on to kill somebody. You notice you're not hearing anything from the right in regards to these criminals that Trump pardoned that are going on to commit other crimes. Now, this is the second guy that's been into some serious shit, because there's another January 6th protester that was killed by the Indiana State Police. I think he got into a gunfight or something like that with him. And these are people that Trump pardoned. Not to mention, now you just pardoned George Santos. How the hell do you pardon George Santos with all of this shit involved in, but you're going gung-ho after Letitia James? Can anybody make that make sense? Letitia James, $17,000 mortgage over the life of the loan, and they're going after $17,000 is the whole amount, the whole financial scope of what Letitia James is involved in. Can you imagine how much we're going to spend as taxpayers on legal fees to go after her for this little $17,000 debacle? You're going to spend might be as much as 100 times that trying to get this lady locked up. The lawyers that are dealing with this are probably charging something like that every other day to go after this kid. I mean, this is insane. You're going to let George Santos out, who only served 3 years of a 7-year sentence. Congressman George Santos, I think his name was. 3 years of a 7-year sentence for lying and using campaign funds for his own personal shit. I had to say his mom was in the towers on September 11th and shit. I mean, just said his grandmom or something like that was in the, or somebody was a descendant of the Holocaust. Just made up all kinds of shit. Trump pardons him, and he goes after Letitia James. I thought this was the law and order party. Somebody help make that make sense. And I see in the comments, William Van Horn says, stop making excuses. A crook is a crook. If you're pardoning George Santos, suggesting that at least he had the common sense to vote Republican, that sounds like an excuse for a crook to me. So I don't understand it. Either you're for law and order or you're not. Well, I'm for law and order when they're liberals, but when it's a Republican, I'll go ahead and overlook some shit. How does that even make sense? Letitia James, he's going gung-ho after her when he let Santos out, who was sentenced to 7 years in prison, and he's only done 3 months. Somebody had to let me know that. Anyway, looking in the comments, January 6th was sedition, says Freedom Fighter. The more time goes on, it does look like he truly indeed did pardon, to use his own words, some bad hombres. I don't think that's up for denial at this point. If Biden had done this, the right would be going ape shit. If President Biden pardoned somebody that then wrote a letter to, let's say, Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, threatening to kill him, we would be blaming Biden for that. I don't see how Trump escapes the blame for this. I don't see how he can. You pardon this dude. This is what happened when he used the phrase, fuck it, let them all out. And he did not go down the line and actually get details on the people he was pardoning. He just let them all out. You let some bad guys out.
And, I hear the Democrats are going to be blamed and the Republicans are going to be blamed. I actually think the president would be blamed. If there is a shutdown, and it's not going to be a horrible shutdown because, as you know, things will sort of keep.
Well, it was a partial shutdown, right?
If there is a shutdown, I think it would be a tremendously negative mark on the president of the United States. He's the one that has to get people together. And
now that's what he said when Obama was in office. If there's a shutdown, it's a horrible mark on the president of the United States because it's his job to get people together. Here's what he's saying now.
if it's shut down, it's only going to be, if there's a shutdown, it's only because of the Democrats. And they would really be taking away a lot from our country and from the people of our country. My opinion.
Interesting how that changed. In the comments, someone made a statement I did want to respond to. Loca Brenna or something like that says Brandon pardoned his whole family. He's indicating that Joe Biden pardoned his whole family. Listen, I'm not here to defend Biden pardons, but I do want to point something out before I take the next caller. Deflecting to Biden is not a defense for President Trump. If Trump goes and murders someone, and you can bring up a Democrat that murdered someone, that's not a defense for President Trump. Snitching is not a defense. And that's what is seeming to happen. We're not defending Trump. We're just going to bring up somebody else that did something too. That's not a defense for President Trump, bringing up Biden. Anyhow, going to the box. Thank you folks for tapping the screen. Share the live. Help your boy out with the hat and mustache. Go if you will. Mike, welcome to the program. Gymnastics, says Charles Vaughn. Yeah, something of that nature. Good evening, Mike.
Back home. You back home, huh?
Back home. Something like that. Something like that. So what?
James Evans got your James Evans robe on.
This is not a robe. This is actually a zip-up sweater.
Oh, I thought you had your James Evans on.
James Evans from Good Times. Did he even wear a robe?
Yeah, he had a robe. Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness! All right.
Anyway,
no, this is not James Evans. But anyway, now we're talking about a January 6th pardonee threatening now to kill the minority speaker on the Democrat side. What say you?
Mm-hmm. Are you surprised?
Somewhat. I knew he was pardoning folks that did something they should not have done on January 6th, but I didn't think they would be stupid enough to go do it again.
Why? I mean, listen, Tim. Stupid is as stupid does.
No.
You know, these people are following. Listen, I don't know why. Why would you be surprised? That's not going to be the last. I'm surprised it took this long.
I just think if you had a experience with the justice system when you didn't even know if you're going to get out, and here comes President Trump, rescuing you and giving you a pardon you didn't know you were going to get, you wouldn't fuck up again. I just would think that they wouldn't do it again.
Let me ask you this: since you've been on this app, have you talked to a J6er on your app before?
Yeah, I've had a couple of them, maybe about 3 of them. They weren't the ones who went in the building, But I've had people that were there, probably a half a dozen of them or more.
Did they regret going?
No.
That's my whole point.
But they didn't commit a crime, though, Mike. They were on the line. They went home.
They don't believe that they committed a crime to begin with. Even the ones that convicted don't believe they did anything wrong. And when he pardoned them, they feel justified. They don't believe they did anything wrong. They believe they were fighting for their country.
How could you go in the building and shit on people's walls and rip down stuff and not think you did anything wrong?
Tim, these aren't my words, Tim. I know they did something wrong. You know they did something wrong, but they don't believe they did anything wrong because Trump's telling them they didn't do anything wrong.
Well,
ta-da!
He is calling them patriots. I'm not going to argue. He is calling them patriots, but I cannot understand how you could go and actually shit on a congresswoman's desk and not think you're doing anything wrong. Even if the president is telling you to do it, how could you not think that that's wrong?
Even the ones that admitted that they did, let me back up. Even the ones that they said they did it at his behest. And then he pardoned them. I will say I did hear one woman on this app, matter of fact, older lady that says she was wrong.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not surprised. They're still getting riled up. You would think that Trump supporters will be just happy as pigs in slop right now. They are still crying and whining. And I'm like, about what? What y'all crying and whining?
They're crying and whining that the Democrats are not basically treating Trump with respect. You're saying awful things about the president. You're disrespecting them. You liberals you don't like Charlie Kirk. You laugh. I mean, they want the Democrats to fall in line.
Okay, so the same people that said, let's go Brandon, Sleepy Joe, all the insults for everybody around, they actually mocked the unaliving of the state senators in Minnesota. Are you talking about these same people?
It's cool when I do it. It's a problem when you do it, Mike.
Okay. That's all. I just wanted to get that out there. Yeah. The same people, right? Yeah. It's just crazy to me.
Same people.
It's just crazy.
I just had somebody a minute ago say that Brandon, as in let's go Brandon, which we know means fuck Joe Biden. Brandon pardoned his whole family. They're still doing it. I mean, President Trump, you cannot put a microphone in front of the man without him talking about Joe Biden. He was just on TV, I think, this weekend, calling Biden the stupidest president in front of the Prime Minister of Australia. I mean, I kind of wonder what those damn, you talk this bad about your predecessor? I mean, like I'm sitting here to talk to you about relations between me and you, and here you are trashing your predecessor. I mean, he's done that in front of Netanyahu. He's done it in front of Zelensky. He's done it in front of Putin. It does not matter. If you put a microphone in front of President Trump's face, he's going to trash Biden for sure, but usually Obama as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the thing about that. I can't recall, maybe you can, I can't recall a former president ever trashing his predecessor.
I mean, I don't know. Well, it depends on your definition of trashing, because Obama blamed Bush for the war, but nowhere to the extent of President Trump. You know what I mean? Nobody's ever done it to the extent of Trump. Trump does it every time you put a microphone in front of his face.
Right. Every single time. Time. And I don't understand why he has to do it. But you know what? He's surrounded by these buffoons.
What about from a revenge aspect? Because Jeff Hoskins on YouTube says, after the way they treated him, this is a comment coming from the right. Listen, they treated him like shit, so I understand him taking revenge and always hitting them back.
Okay, so whoever said that, what was his name?
Jeff Hoskins.
I want Jeff to go do some research. Tell me what he was charged with that he didn't do. Now, you can argue the severity of any of it. You can talk about the severity of the 34 felonies. You could talk about the Stormy Daniels. You could talk about the J6. You could talk about the classified documents, but he did all of that shit.
What was he charged with that he did not do? We're going to start. Well, he wasn't charged with an insurrection from the impeachments. Was he charged with? What did they charge when they impeached him?
Insurrection. No, he wasn't charged with insurrection, and I'd have to go back and look at the actual charges so I can quote them correctly. But what I'm saying is everything he was charged with, he did. I mean, that's a funny thing. They say everything everybody put a rich white man through in the United States of America with all the white privilege and he got, and they're treating him mean. Fuck y'all. Listen, he did everything He did. He did everything he was charged with. The funny thing is, there was a lot of shit that he's done that may not necessarily be legal, but it sure the fuck is unethical. It sure the fuck is immoral.
Well, let me say it like this, because you raise a good question. I want to say this to my beloved MAGA viewers. I do want to ask that. I want to repeat that question you asked to my MAGA viewers that are watching. Please, in the comments, type this, because Trump has said that those charges were a witch hunt. My viewer asked a really good question. What has Trump been charged with that you believe he did not do? I mean, he had like 80 some odd federal charges. What charges you believe that were imposed upon Trump that you believe he did not do? Somebody state them in the comments, because that is a great question. I don't have an answer for it. I know he claimed everything was a witch hunt, but I don't have an answer for that. What was he charged with that he didn't do?
Listen, Tim, do you know how hard they didn't even want to? I don't want everybody to understand this. The government did not even want to charge him because they're very particular about charging former presidents. They didn't even want to charge him on half that shit. All he had to do was give the documents back. That's all the fuck he had to do. All he literally had to do was give the documents back.
Yeah.
He fought giving the documents back. He lied. He told his attorneys to lie and say that was all the document. This man did everything he was fucking charged with.
Yeah. Well, John,
everything.
This is not exactly answering the question properly, but John Paul Peter says every one of those charges were false. So you're saying it? Listen, yeah. I mean, they got to give a better answer than that. I mean, look, yeah. I mean, and there's no way all of those charges are false.
Man, that's two hand fluffing right there. Listen, everything that he was charged with, he did. Here's the thing. It's not my opinion. I've read all the indictments. I love reading the indictments. At the end of the indictments, they show you all of the references, like on the texts or emails or other testimony or other depositions, right? So the detail is there. Not that 2-page bullshit ass indictment they filed against James Comey that had one signature and wasn't even a full page. My point is this, Tim. He did it all. He's had a history of being, if nothing else, unethical. I mean, clearly the man's unethical. Like you can't argue that Trump is an unethical businessman. Not with all these lawsuits he's had over the years. 4,000 lawsuits. That's not an ethical businessman.
Maybe all 4,000 of them were witch hunts. I mean, April Jones in the comments says, when Tim tells me I can tell you, I'll give you all the real. Well, go ahead on April Jones. Let me know what you got. But maybe all 4,000 of them were witch hunts.
Yeah, I know, because that's normally the history for rich white men in America. They are hunted. They are persecuted wrongfully in this country. That's what happens, right? Matter of fact, show me another one. Show me another. It's funny, even the president, by this standard, then Nixon was wrongfully accused.
I'm sure there were people that were saying that wouldn't happen to Nixon. I'm sure there probably were.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably were too. And I'm sure they felt the same way about Epstein. I'm sure they felt the same way about Diddy. And why this motherfucker would even get into the Diddy sweepstakes of giving him a pardon is beyond fucking me.
Well, the man said he's done more for blacks than anybody since Abraham Lincoln. Now he's pardoning. Do you think he'll do that? Think he's going to pardon P. Diddy?
Man, it shouldn't even be a conversation. I mean, whether he does or he doesn't, it shouldn't even be a conversation. But you know what? It wouldn't surprise me because he doesn't care about women. He doesn't care about women. He doesn't care about the way women are treated, SA or grape. He don't give a fuck about women.
You know, when I heard him saying he was going to pardon P. Diddy, and then I seen him pardon George Santos on Friday. I don't know if you remember the scene. I think all of us Gen Xers have seen the movie, the first original Die Hard, when Hans Gruber was just, even though he was robbing Nakatomi, he's looking through like, I want you to pardon this guy. I mean, he was making them think that he wanted people to be pardoned. He's like, I don't really even know this guy. I kind of like what he did. He was just picking people and telling the police to let them go. To me, that's what it looks like Trump is doing, just pardoning random folks. I'm just doing it because I can. I don't have any relation to it, just doing it because I can do it.
This man, listen, this man has got us looking like fucking buffoons on the world stage. Like, that's what he's worried about. He done tore half the east wall, the wall of the east wing up. I mean, what the hell is going on? We're spending money to do this remodel. He's asking the Department of Justice for $230 million for reimbursement on all of these cases.
You think that's ballroom money?
Let me tell you, they're going to give him that money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't think anybody at this point, the way Congress will be Trump's children at this point. They're not resisting anything. I mean, I'm starting to even, you heard one of my callers earlier who voted for Trump even said, I'm Republican and I'm giving him $230 million. You're starting to have Republicans that are genuinely suffering. Farmers, now they're talking about SNAP benefits and things like that. But meanwhile, Trump, who is incredibly rich, is finding ways to get richer. And they're still like, well, he is the best president we've ever had. I don't understand it. I thought we were America first. Where are the Americans that are being given preferential treatment that are not already rich?
You got to ask him because, well, first of all, we knew that wasn't going to happen anyway. The Trump supporters, the rural white, middle, lower class Trump supporters that still support him, they're about to find out. You know what? Listen, MAGA is a ship, and it's a ship with holes in it.
What do you mean?
And it's taking on water.
I don't know. I think most MAGA are still pretty pleased with the. Like I said, I get a lot of folks who say Trump is the best president we've ever had. I don't think MAGA sees it that way.
I know what they're saying, but you remember when you watched the movie The Titanic and the band was still fucking playing?
Yeah.
Those were MAGAs.
That is a hell of a metaphor. So MAGA are the violinists on the Titanic that kept playing while the boat was sinking. That's MAGA.
Yeah, that's MAGA.
Pleasure playing with you, sir. Pleasure playing with you. Wow.
If you still support him now, you are playing that violin and that fucking bass and that cello. You sitting there playing. No one is taking on water. That's what's happening right now.
Holy shit! I do believe you're going.
Happening right now. And let me tell you, the last ones to get off this sinking MAGA if they get off is Blagger. Like the lumberjacks in the comment talking shit. They're gonna be the last ones hanging on. And here's the thing: when they need help finding something to float on, their fellow MAGA supporters gonna kick their black asses right back in the water.
So they'll be the white MAGA is gonna be like Kathy Bates on the boat. Like, we should have let them on. We should go back. No, we ain't
going back.
Nigga
sickles. They're gonna be nigga sickles out there in there.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
People don't like you. They don't like what I'm saying, but I try to use these metaphors because how else can you explain it, Tim? How else can you explain it? It is taking on water. It literally is taking on water. Well, the bottom line is whether they stay. I don't care if they believe it, Tim, because here's the thing: none of them believe. And matter of fact, you're not MAGA. You didn't believe this shit was going to happen, but you would have got your ass off that boat if it was.
Yeah. I didn't think Trump's first term was that bad other than his handling of COVID. I don't like the name calling, but the way he ran the country, it was survivable. I lean a little bit left of that, so I didn't favor a lot of things he was doing, but just like Bush, I mean, it was survivable. He's far more to the right this time, and the fact that there is no checks and balances, the three systems of government, legislative, judicial, and the executive branch. The legislative branch, being Congress, are essentially doing nothing, and the judicial branch under the Supreme Court is kind of his too. So this wasn't what we were dealing with the first term. I really think now Fifth Avenue, in the middle of Fifth Avenue, is a real, actual statement. If he were to pop somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue, those in the justice system that were responsible for holding them accountable could not be relied upon to do it. I would not rely upon Pam Bondi to bring charges against Trump if he took somebody out in the middle of Fifth Avenue. I think she would come up with a reason why that person actually gave him a self-defense argument.
I can't argue with that. And let me give you another. Let me add to that. When those texts came out from the young Republicans, when all those text messages came out, right? J.D. Vance got on TV and said, actually, he was being honest. J.D. Vance said, that's just boys being boys. See, they're accustomed to that racism. They're accustomed to that racism. It wasn't a big deal to them because it's not a big deal to them.
Well, and now you got what is his name here? I got written down. Paul Ingrazia, Trump's special counsel, that just announced he's not going to go for the position, but he too was caught saying he has a Nazi streak and that Martin Luther King holiday should be tossed into the seventh circle of hell, to the point where some of the Senate was saying, some of the Republican senators like, this dude's so racist, we're not gonna vote for this guy. And Trump didn't have a problem with it.
He nominated him. But so here's my thing, Tim. For the Trump supporters, the lumberjacks, the MAGA reacts, how do you square all of this hate and supremacy around you, right? I mean, this belies logic. Like Tim, if I told you both your next door neighbors on either side of you have been convicted of sexual assault on both sides of you, and you know this, and you still hang out with them,
that means you're okay with it.
That means you're okay with it.
Yeah.
At minimum, it means you're okay with it.
Yeah.
At minimum.
Well, there's been so much of this stuff orbiting around Trump since he became president again. I mean, obviously, his appointment of Pete Hegseth, there was this big scandal that was suggesting that his tattoos were racist tattoos or nationalist tattoos. And some said, no, they are tied to Christianity and things like that. Then, of course, Elon Musk, my heart goes out to you. That just was because he had autism. You're pointing out the young Republicans. And there's been a bunch of other stuff since that, because Elon Musk started telling folks that you shouldn't feel guilty for the Holocaust. I mean, he wouldn't tell that to Germans. You shouldn't. And then, of course, Argentina, in the history of Argentina, is even in there. So I don't have any answer for it, but it all, you know what they say, walk like a duck, talks like a duck. I'm just going to say I'm starting to smell some really good duck cooking somewhere nearby. There's a whole lot of this stuff there.
Listen, Stephen Miller, he's a self-proclaimed white supremacist. You can Google that shit right now. So you've got a self-proclaimed.
But Trump loves black people. Trump stated, "I love the blacks."
Yeah. He loves, like, and he told you I liked him over there. I like him over there. When's the last time you seen Byron Donalds, Tim? Anyway.
I haven't seen Byron Donalds. I haven't seen J.D. Vance's wife. Tim Scott has disappeared. I don't know where these brothers are. Even Officer Tatum was not invited to the Charlie Kirk cookout to memorialize the guy. I don't know where they went.
Officer Tatum was on this app talking about how he
I posted it.
Even if my wife, and then they got this coon tap dancing bug dancer sitting there crying about Charlie Kirk. This is the stuff that I'm talking about, Tim. But here's the thing: if you're surrounded by an element, you can't defend it. You can't defend it. It is what it is, and we just have to just not even engage in trying to figure out whether he really means it. He's surrounded by this. You got Karen, what's the secretary of the press secretary's dumbass name? Did you hear what she said when she got asked that question?
What?
About why they were meeting in Budapest? You know, who set up the meeting for Trump?
Your mama?
Your mama did. Your mama did. What the listen, but we're ghetto.
Yeah, they said Jasmine Crockett is ghetto.
Jasmine Crockett is ghetto, but you sat up there and said your mama did at the Listen. They're the biggest hypocrites. They're supporters of the biggest hypocrites. They're supporting things they would never let Biden get away with. They would never let Obama wore a tan suit. Michelle had her shoulders out, and they went absolutely apeshit.
I do recall that. The tan suit scandal.
Although the tan suit was in honor of who?
Reagan?
He wore the tan suit. Reagan.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Reagan. I don't know. I got to move it on. You got way too much on me. I can't even push back on this shit because it's starting to get overwhelming. But let
me say this. And I'm going to land my plane here. Hey, Miss Mobeto, I see you. The protests, the King's Day protests.
Yeah.
7 to 8 million people. Who were the majority of the people out there, too?
Well, I've been told they're all paid George Soros protesters.
Yeah. Fuck that. Who was from the demographics? Who was the largest demographic?
Shit, Gen Xers, and above.
And white. They were white people.
Well, 27 what did they say? 2,700 different cities and towns. It ain't that many hardcore black towns in the country. So yeah, I mean, because Appleton, Wisconsin, where I'm quite familiar with, Green Bay, Wisconsin, them towns are not very diverse. I mean, and they had this stuff going on. I mean, I was in Tennessee when this happened, and I was in Nashville, and they had protests in different counties all around Nashville. Now, obviously, Tennessee is a blood red state. Nashville has diversity, but Murfreesboro and Smyrna and Clarksville, I'm like, what the fuck? I look, because I was going to do some touring downtown in Nashville, and so I want to make sure I can avoid the protests because I don't want to drive through it. And they were all over the place, and that's in Nashville. So yeah, it absolutely had to be a hell of a lot of white people because there's too many cities, every state. So obviously there's not a lot of blacks living in Boise or Montana or Wyoming. Every state had these things. So yeah, it had to be plenty of whites.
So people have to understand, and rightfully so, right? Like rightfully so. They have to get out there and protest. They got to get out there and wait till November 1st. Wait till these SNAP benefits don't kick in for a lot of people. November 1st is when it's supposed to happen. Wait,
I think Trump maybe Trump will do something to stop that. I got to move it on, but maybe Trump will do something to stop that.
He's not.
Only a few days
They
away.
this money, Tim. They got to get this money to pay the rich. That's where they're getting the money from.
Normally that phrase goes, "They got to get this money to pay the rent, not to pay the rich." To pay the rich, damn. All right, Mike, I got to move it on.
Pay the rich.
That's horrible.
Right, brother.
That's horrible. Appreciate it. Moving on with the program. By the way, tap the screen. Get your guy on up to it. A lot of lazy thumbs in here, huh? Can't get up to 60,000. Tap the screen, get the likes on up. Looking in the comments, I wanted to respond to April Jones' comments. You said to look up the murder of Victoria Cretella in 1994. It was protected by Jack Smith. I don't know what relevance that has. What relevance does bringing up something that Jack Smith was involved in 30 years ago? What relevance does that have, April? I thought you were going to give me the things that you believe that President Trump was charged with, that he did not deserve to be charged with. If we want to go and look into the history of every member of law enforcement, from judges down to cops and prosecutors, I mean, they all got some bad shit probably in their past, cases that shouldn't have been charged or that they lost or on slim evidence. I don't know what bringing up something that Jack Smith was involved in back in 94, what relevance that has now. I don't understand that. The significance of passage of time, right? The significance of passage of time. So when you think about it, there are great significance to Kamala Harris. What do you mean? I don't know what you're repeating that on. But looking in the comments here, nobody went to Obama's house, LOL. Well, went to Obama's house for what? What's the point? He should have been charged with waiting too long to run for president. You're gonna charge something? What is that? You're making up law? Anyway, let me go ahead and continue on. And by the way, the not so bearded beard says you're wrong about the ballroom. It is funded by donors. I'm just going to say it like this. I'll believe it when I see it. Because President Trump has already said a few things, such as the expansion, the ballroom you're talking about. He already stated that it was not going to affect the White House at all. And now you see on video, they're demolishing part of the White House. So he's already lied about part of it. He said that wasn't going to happen. But now he's on video. Now you see the part of the White House being demolished. So if he didn't tell the truth about that, what makes you think that the whole is going to be paid for by donors thing is true? I don't even feel confident the whole jet from Qatar was free. I don't even believe that. Now that we know that they're going to be training in Idaho how to fly F-15s. Look, the guy says a lot of things that don't always pan out. But this is what I was telling my viewer earlier, Denkow, when I said that Trump doesn't lie as much as Democrats because the right don't view a lot of this stuff as lies. They're just, he said the White House wasn't going to be demolished at all, but, he needed more room. It's not a lie to them. He clearly said this wasn't going to happen, and now it's happening. Anyway, looking in the comments, the military has never been stronger, and you can try and denigrate them all you want. Mike, I don't know. I don't, you say the military has never been stronger. What has Trump done to strengthen the military? I mean, has he added 1 million extra soldiers? I mean, he's done contracts to build with this F-47 or whatever, but the military hasn't been beefed up to any great significance in the last 8 or 9. What do you mean the military's never been stronger? What has he done to make the military stronger? Now, he may do things. He may be in the process of doing things to make the military stronger, like building an Iron Dome or, the new F-47 contract or something. But none of that stuff has actually happened. So why are you suggesting that the military is the strongest it's ever been? Not to mention how many folks are getting kicked out of the military or folks that may be resigning. I don't see where you're getting it stronger from. Not to mention we should probably start discussing morale now that a lot of African Americans believe that they're being targeted for shaving issues, people who are overweight, obviously the LGBTQ community and things like that. I don't know. Why are you saying the military is stronger than it's ever been? What is that based on? Keep buying our weapons because you don't have the brain cells to build your own, says Dirty Money. I mean, I assume you're talking to somebody else in the comments. They have the highest number of people to ever sign up. Yeah, but I heard recruitment was, I don't know about ever though. I'll just say it like this. Some of this stuff is difficult to get to the bottom of because Trump gives these incredible exaggerations and MAGA runs with that stuff as facts. Trump says that, we just had the largest, enrollment in U.S. history and we got 20,000 new soldiers signed up in the last month. MAGA is going to just take that as fact. MAGA does not need any evidence for what Trump, like the boats being blown up off the coast of Venezuela. Trump says they're drug dealers bringing fentanyl into the country. MAGA just believes that. So it's hard to really know what's true and what's false. I'm not saying he's lying because I don't know, but I don't just take what Trump says at face value. MAGA does. Anyway, going back to the box, he is destroying everything, says Debbie. They totally disagree with that. Recruitment is down. Recruitment is down, says, now you say recoupment. So you're saying people who, when you have a chance to leave, but you decide to stay. I forgot what that's called, but is that what you're talking about? Guy won't address Trump wins, says, give me some of Trump's wins. I believe he's winning on the border. I believe if you want to protect the integrity of women's sports, he's winning there. But I'm going to submit this to you. I don't believe most of Trump's wins affect the average American. Give me some of Trump's wins that affects the average working American. Protecting the integrity of sports doesn't affect anybody. Keeping biological males out of girls' sports. How many of us watching right now actually have somebody dealing with that shit? Doesn't affect anybody. So give me some of Trump's wins. If Trump wins $230 million from the DOJ because he believes he was wrongfully prosecuted, tell me how that affects the average American. Tell me where Trump's wins is that actually he is winning. He's winning over and over and over again. But how is it affecting the American people? That's what I'm talking about. Let me hear Americans talking about I can go out and buy a steak for 20% less. I can buy a car and the interest rates are down. Where is that win at? A win for us, not for him. When you say we're not giving Trump credit for his wins, you're meaning that literally he is winning. But what about us? In the comments, Mind Reader says, when I had TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, I had a lot of hate in my heart. Being MAGA feels so much better. No, you still do have hate in your heart. It's just towards the liberals. I don't know about that. It just feels so much better because the Democrats' hatred of Trump is not culminating into any victories. The MAGA hatred of the Democrats right now is culminating into a lot of victories. But it's still hate. I mean, both sides don't like each other. So you didn't lose your hate by switching over to MAGA. You didn't leave that at all. Let me go back to the box. Appreciate you guys getting your boy up to 60 foul. We'll continue on with Miss Mo Better. Help your boy get the hat and mustache going. You know what we always say, helps out the program, helps out the algorithm. Miss Mo Better, good evening.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, 200.
First, I want to start out by saying we did think that was a robe. I was going to ask you.
Yeah. You thought this was a robe?
Show us what you working with. Let's see that taco meat. If you
Oh
got
my,
any.
I don't have any. I'm as hairless as a little boy. I've never, you know, I'll grow out a beard, a little patchy beard and a mustache, but I've never been a very hairy individual. As the late Michael once said, I'm a smooth criminal.
The smooth criminal.
Yeah. Why did you say that? It almost sounded like you had auto-tune when you said that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm on my little box, my little thing right here.
Oh, okay. You do got auto-tune. All right.
It's not auto-tune. It's probably just in the echo was up.
Yeah, sound like a little T-Pain going on there. So what do you think? 230 million to the president.
That ninja done lost his ever-loving mind.
Well,
he's right now he's reaching for a straw because he really found out because he cannot accept donations to build that White House. He cannot do it. It's against the law. So now he's
wait. What do you mean it's against the law? It's against the law for him
to take donations for anything at the White House. He can't do it. As
Really?
the president, he cannot do that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, look that up. But so now he's like, oh, I got a way I can get the money.
From us.
Yep. Oh, let's just go back and say that they falsely did investigated me. They falsely did everything. And you see the post that he put up talking about, I guess I'll be suing myself. I guess that I'll be suing myself.
And I see in the comments, Takesha even points it out, said it absolutely is against the law. I guess he was counting on us because he definitely won against me, counting on us to be stupid.
I want to read something real quick. It takes less than 30 seconds.
Give it to me.
Lack of empathy.
Give it to me.
Manipulative behavior, impulsivity, disregard for consequence, aggressive tendencies, difficulty maintaining relationships, superficial emotions, self-centeredness, irresponsibility, and lack of accountability.
Are you reading?
Those are all traits
that sound like
I just read of our commander-in-chief. And you know what that they define? A sociopath.
I thought that was what the judge posted at my first divorce. I didn't know what that was. Okay, so
sociopath. Everything I listed is what he is, and this is why he's doing the things he does now, because he doesn't care. He really doesn't care about the American people. So that America First that they keep hollering about, it has nothing to do with the actual American people. For people don't know where that really originated from, please go do your research on America First. Number one. Number two, you see how he ride around. Do you think Obama would have flew some shit out, dropping shit on people?
I think the outcry.
That shit came out of his diaper.
You're talking about the AI image of Trump flying a fighter jet over the crowd and jumping feces on him.
Yeah, all that shit came out of his diaper.
Oh my God. I think that if Obama had done that, a lot of the liberals would have even been against it. Just like when Biden talked about an island of garbage in regards to MAGA at Madison Square Garden, there were liberals that called him out on that. Even liberals that spoke out against making fun of Charlie Kirk's death. But when Trump does that stuff, MAGA loves when Trump does that. If the liberals had a Charlie Kirk, let's say, what is her name? The one in Atlanta, Stacey Abrams. She's kind of done some similar stuff to Charlie Kirk. If somebody took her out and Trump made fun of it, MAGA would not have a problem with that.
They wouldn't. They think that what he's doing is tough. It makes him weak. He's a weak little man that thin as his skin is as thin as tissue paper. And as soon as somebody says something and he wants to react, that's not presidential. That's not leadership.
You think he's probably the most powerful president in history, Mr. Mobet? I can just say he's weak.
Well, you know what makes him powerful? Because there's no checks and balances.
Okay.
You got people in offices that kowtow to him. Tim, that of course they're going to go with what he says. Because he bullies everybody into their position. Like, I'm going to give you a position, but as soon as you get out of line, I'm going to fire your ass. Then I'm going to somehow file a lawsuit against your ass. Look how many people that was under his first administration that's either lost their license to practice law, they went to jail, they got fired, and so now he's going after the common man. Now he's going after the common man.
I don't know. MAGA.
That's not leadership. That's not leadership. That's vengeful.
MAGA sees President Trump as eventually. Listen, right now there may be some issues, but they do believe that if you bet on Trump, eventually you will come out on top. I had somebody tell me that 99% of the time, if you follow Trump, you're going to come out on top.
Listen, he was the Pied Piper to them. He blew that when he got them thinking that listen, I'm gonna make all y'all rich. Y'all gonna be rich, not the Democrats, just the Republicans, just MAGA. Because he don't like the Republicans either. He calls them rhinos. Just MAGA, you're going to be rich. And 9 out of 10 of them are going to be suffering as of November 1st. They're going to be at these food banks and shit because he gonna cut your shit out.
Well, with the way that he is allocating money and making it clear that we're only going to target Democrats and Democratic programs, wouldn't surprise me if come November 1st, he found money to give to Republican states so that they didn't get cut during this snap and stuff.
I doubt that because his agenda is to make himself rich, to enrich himself and his
He's
family.
fucking 80 years old, damn near.
And that's seditious. That is so seditious. Like one of your callers on YouTube said earlier. It's sedition, Tim.
But how you say his goal is to get rich? I mean, the guy is infinitely wealthy. He's almost 80. He's not going to be, he's already got more money than he will ever be able to spend. So does his wife.
That doesn't matter to him. That doesn't matter to him. To him, he's going to live forever, and I'm going to have all the money, and I'm going to do shit to piss people off. I don't care who suffers. The proof is in the pudding with him firing all of these federal workers. With him cutting Medicare and Medicaid, and that's the proof you need, Tim.
I was told that was just.
You need him to say.
But Elon said that those folks getting fired are part of waste, fraud, and abuse that we need to get rid of. Redundancy, they're not necessary. And by the way, Platron in the comments says
he had a position to maintain.
Platron in the comments says you have a real bad case of Trump derangement syndrome.
They can say what they want to say. They all about that word salad. That shit don't make me. It don't make or break me. You can say whatever you want to say, and I'm gonna be nice and not clap back because you know I got it for days.
Yeah, you definitely do.
I'm gonna be nice about it. They can say what they want to say. Deranged. Y'all motherfuckers are deranged. That's who's deranged. For y'all to believe that what he's doing will not affect you.
Well, that's probably because the Democrats, since Trump got elected, have been saying this guy's going to destroy the country. It was going to happen by Memorial Day. It was going to happen by July 1st, and it's not happening. So they're looking at you like you're actually spreading misinformation.
Listen, Trump's lies cost lives. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. Trump's lies cost lives.
What has he said?
People was eating dogs and cats and shit. Who could believe anything that comes out of his fucking mouth?
Well, but what has he been dishonest about that has caused a life?
You know how when he was talking about those Haitians, when he was talking about those Haitians, do you know they was being attacked, right? They didn't just say, "Oh, that was a lie," and they were being attacked. Look at those boats he just blew up over there, the Venezuelan boats or Colombian boats or whatever boats how many people just got, and he still has no proof of what he did.
That last one is a good answer. I do believe personally, based on what you're saying, I agree that what Trump is saying about those boats off the coast of Venezuela, considering Venezuela is not even known as a country that produces fentanyl, I do believe he's lying with that. I'll just say this. He took out a submarine or a submersible boat, and he's saying that shows they're drug dealers because nobody has a submarine. At least 1 or 2 people on that sub survived, and this is their words, we repatriated them back to their own country. If they're committing drug crimes that are so bad you're trying to kill them, and you caught them alive, why wouldn't you bring them to justice? You actually tried to kill them, and when they survived, you let them go? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that makes no sense.
Lie, of course, how many people died during C-19? Millions.
Yeah.
That was, and a lie that he was spreading. Oh, it's a hoax. That's his first lie. Oh, it's a hoax. When he was already knowing what was happening.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll go away, but you sit in the sun, it'll go away. Oh, just sip a little disinfectant.
And by the way, hang on a second. MK Ultra Instinct, you told me to search Memphis thanking Trump if I want proof. This individual apparently on my screen is going to do that. We'll talk about it in a minute. But yeah, to me, I agree with you, Ms. Mobetta, that what's happening off the coast of Venezuela is not going down as Trump portrays it. Because yeah, if you got two drug dealers that survived your attempt to kill them and you took them in custody, they were taken into custody by Americans, and we released them back to their own countries. They're so bad that you believe they should die, but then when you catch them alive, you just let them go. That makes zero sense.
Right, makes zero sense. And if that's the case, if you caught those two, don't you think there's hundreds more behind them?
Yeah.
You think that was the end all? You feel because you blew that up, oh, the rest of them not going to come. Guess what? You was blowing up that boat where you had no proof of nothing, and they was going around the other way.
Yeah. That I don't know.
What you claim you was looking for was going around the whole other way.
Yeah, and I believe that's one of the reasons why they're now indicating that they only want press questions to be approved by the Pentagon, because they wouldn't have an answer for that. If these guys are that bad and you actually had them in custody, why didn't you bring them to justice? There is no answer to give for that. That makes zero sense. So
it's zero evidence, and this is how he gets away, because people don't really. He doesn't hold and he denies. No, and none of his constituents, like Mike Johnson, who actually has the power to do a lot of the shit that is happening, and they will not hold him accountable. You're ending sessions because you don't want to vote that lady in, because you already know she's that tie and vote that will release them files.
Do you think that matters, though? Do you think that if we get this woman in, the Texas congresswoman or whatever, and she gives the final vote so that there's enough votes to release the Epstein files, do you think it'll even matter with MAGA? Say the Epstein files comes out and there's damning information in there against President Trump or somebody that's close to Trump, do you think that'll even matter with MAGA?
No, because they don't believe shit stinks. Yeah. It will not matter, because they believe anything. They got, I'm like gangster grandma right now. They got his nut so far down their throat till it don't even matter.
Oh, not the uncooked.
They're coughing up orange pubic hairs right now.
Oh my Lord, not the uncooked protein. In fact, I got a holler at gangster tonight.
They call it uncooked protein. This shit probably a crazy right now.
But let me ask: maybe he's doing something great? How did one man get this much power? Is he indeed making America that great? Because he has more power than Obama or Bush.
He's making America terrible. He's making America terrible. Everything he's doing is against American people. How is that making America great? He became the battery to the people that are racist. They think they can come out of their mouth and say what the fuck they want to do. They don't care. You see those them little them men that J.D. Vance called boys. They're not boys. They were grown ass men. The fuck?
Yeah, I mean they're over 18, so even if you think they're young 18 to 20-year-olds, you're right. They're somewhere in their 30s, and one was a state senator.
Yes,
I mean,
they were adults, and this is the thing. I don't understand how are they going so hard against like black and brown people. We're not the ones who fucking with you. We're not the ones making your laws. We don't hold that type of power. So what is the big threat with black people?
Well,
and number one, I'm gonna ask from a black person standpoint, what is the big threat? Because again, y'all mad at shit that we ain't got no control over.
Well, the issue is they believe that you're drained on the system, you're getting welfare and food stamps, you're committing crimes and murders and rapes in major cities.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you what it is. I'm just telling
stereotypes. That's just why what happened to Charlie Kirk happened too. That's why that happened. And then they mad. Charlie Kirk didn't like us either. How do you want us to show him respect?
Well, they suggested Charlie Kirk was only speaking facts. He didn't have any ill will toward the black community at all.
He spoke nothing but his opinion about some shit that he never experienced. How the hell you call that a fact?
Well, that's what they were saying. I was going to go with that.
No, they say a lot of shit that's dumb. And that's what gives us pause, Tim. That's what gives us the pause, because y'all regurgitate dumb shit that's not even true. And the thing is, y'all are afraid of the actual history to the point where they're trying to erase it. They're afraid of the real history, the true cause of shit, the things of why things happening. Now, why the government shut down right now? Why are they not using the nuclear option? They have that power. Why are they not? They did use it. Didn't they use it a couple months ago?
Yeah, too special. Thank you for the hat mustard. I don't know why they are not using the nuclear option.
They hold all the cards right now.
Yeah.
They hold them. The Democrats don't hold no cards.
Well, the thing about it is, if they don't use the nuclear option, maybe they believe that as long as things are shut down, they can keep using the shutdown to ram that down the Democrats' throat and convince the public that the shutdown is due to Democrats.
Well, see, the thing, there hasn't been a budget signed since last September, believe it or not. It's been shut down for a while. So, and not the government itself wasn't shut down. They kept approving it. You see how Schumer then was like, yeah, and the Democrats drugged the shit out of Schumer for agreeing.
Yeah, but this is, they say this is a clean resolution or whatever the case may be, and the Democrats did it last time. Are the Democrats just holding out because they hate Trump? Trump derangement syndrome?
Trump is terrible. He's a terrible man. He doesn't make people want to work with him. He doesn't. He just wants to feel empowered.
Yeah, but
he just wants to feel empowered. That I'm the boss. I have the final say. So you're gonna do what I say or else. How many times is that his speech?
Yeah, but when you suggest that Trump doesn't make people want to work with him, they're gonna push back and say, look, your job is to do what's right by the American people, not act on your feelings. We don't give a damn what you want. Well, do your job.
He already said he hates Democrats and that he's going to cancel all the Democrat programs and shit like that. Why should they bow to him? Why should they come to the table with him? You're going to do what you do anyway. So now what he think he going to do is like, all right, I'm going to give it. You can't trust that he's going to give you what you want if you in the shutdown. You can't trust that. He's already told you what he was going to do.
Yeah, and I even had a MAGA viewer even admit that if you actually work with him, there's no guarantee you can trust him to come back to the table.
There ain't no guarantees.
Yeah.
Please, he's losing respect. Look, you see, Netanyahu, them people don't respect Trump. They just know his weakness.
Well, 3 more years. I got to move it on, Ms. Mobetta. 3 more years in probably about 3 months.
We got to come out and fight for the midterms. They lose the midterms, and they lost. And that's why a lot of that protest was happening the other day. I'm telling you, they're going to have a problem. But what he going to do? They're going to try to derail. They trying to get the red gerrymandering and all of that. They trying to get that shit done now because they know the midterms they already lost.
Well, I got to move it on, but I hate to say, but nonviolent protests rarely accomplish anything. I got to go, Mr. Mobetta.
Tell them on January 6th that.
Oh my God. And by the way, I hate to say that, but fact is nonviolent protests usually do not accomplish much. I mean, the abortion protesters, they would stand out in front of an abortion clinic reading, the Bible with pictures of babies and fetuses that were terminated. That shit was getting them nowhere. People just ignore that. People ignore nonviolent protests. The only way protests in this country and abroad, for the most part, have a history of being effective is when you put it up in people's face and they have no choice but to do something about it. Because if they can ignore you, they will. That's why the Colin Kaepernick, even what he was doing was getting attention because it was up in your face. You couldn't ignore it. Martin Luther King doing sit-ins in restaurants, the Boston Tea Party. They're doing things that force you to address it. But if you can just walk past it or go down another street or turn off the television and ignore it, that's what people are going to do. Nonviolent, peaceful protests rarely accomplish anything, at least in my opinion. We'll see, but you're going to need, if Trump is talking about gerrymandering elections and shit like that, protesting peacefully ain't going to stop him. It's going to tell you that. Anyway, real quick in the comments, I did want to respond to MK Ultra Instinct. You told me to search Memphis thanking Trump and you say I don't know what this was in regards to or what I'm going to get proof of.
He's the one that has to get people together. And if it's shut down, it's only going to be.
But I do want to, I just did what you said. I searched Memphis thanking Trump. And I got an Instagram post that my computer's just so jacked up today. And I just want to hear what this little kid, looks like a little boy, has to say here. So, and I'll go on to the next caller. By the way, tap the screen, get your boy. We might be to get up over 100,000, if you will. I may not be to bring this up. I'll keep trying here for a minute. But looking in the comments here, the main difference is that sociopaths are generally impulsive and erratic, while psychopaths are more calculated and manipulative. Psychopaths often have a profound lack of empathy. I will say, when it comes to President Trump, I don't think there's any denying that he's not a very empathetic man. I don't think there's any denying of that. Yeah, it says video has no sound, so they took the sound from it. But I'm looking in the comments. A young man in Memphis thanks President Trump for making his community safer. So that's what this young man is doing. Why Instagram took the sound off?
Because I had to worry a lot about guns and stuff. I couldn't play because I was worried that somebody might pull out a gun or something. But now I can do that. And I just wanted to thank the President of the United States for bringing the National Guard.
So you hear him, he's thanking President Trump, saying that he couldn't go outside and play and it wasn't safe. And now it is, because President Trump has deployed the National Guard. And he's not the only one, I'm sure, in Memphis saying that. There are people saying it in Chicago. There are people saying it in Portland. There's people saying it in D.C. But listen, it doesn't matter what an issue is. There's going to always be people you can find on both sides of the issue. I'm sure there are plenty of people in Memphis that don't want the National Guard there, and they're not all criminals. So while this young man wants the National Guard there, I'm sure you can find people on the other side. So what he is saying is his personal opinion, something he favors, but I'm sure there are plenty of people in Memphis that do not want the National Guard there. So I don't know if that matters. And I see the comments, Ty says that video is AI generated. You're telling me this is not a real video? I see Dalen Carrier also said it's AI. Really? Even if it is AI, AI is getting so fucking advanced. I mean, this is the infancy of AI, folks. Can you imagine what this shit is going to be like in 10 years? We're all going to get scammed as old people. I'm telling you, 10, 15 years from now, we all going to be getting scammed. But if this is AI, I can only imagine what it's going to look like 10, 15 years from now. But it doesn't matter if it's AI or not. There are people in Memphis that are happy the National Guard is there. There's no denying there are old ladies that live in the hood where drug dealers are running the neighborhood and shit like that, and they're happy that there's a peace of mind. But then again, there are people who are going to work every day that are not committing any crimes at all, that are tired of getting stopped. I mean, so there's pros and cons to it. There are pros and cons to it. I've covered this on the program before, whereas I don't believe deploying the National Guard is the reason to lower crime. I don't buy that that's the reason President Trump is doing that. But lowering crime is a side effect. I mean, if you saturate the cities with military personnel or even just law enforcement, the side effect is it's going to bring down crime. But my opinion is President Trump, because of what he's doing, stuff like you've seen the No Kings protest, because this No Kings protest this weekend, according to the count, actually had a few million people more than the one they did in June. So the protest size is growing. I believe personally, Trump is deploying the National Guard into major American cities because he expects eventually that the protests may get unruly and violent because of stuff he's doing. I mean, I hate Democrats, and I would not be surprised if come election time in the midterms, he claims that there's widespread fraud. So you got National Guardsmen at the polling places, intimidating people and things like that. So I believe the National Guard is there to silence the protesters in the future. But you can use the excuse right now to say you're lowering crime because it is a side effect. That's my opinion. That's why he's sending them to liberal cities and going all out of order. When it comes to lowering crime, If you were going to deploy the National Guard to lower crime, you would do it to the most violent cities and then go on down the list. Portland would be well down on the list. You wouldn't start out in Portland. Even Chicago is not the top 10 most violent cities. Definitely not the top 5. You wouldn't start out. Now he's talking about sending them to San Francisco. Those are not the most violent cities in America. He's skipping around, and he's doing it based on the amount of liberals in the city, because that's where the protests are going to be the strongest. If there is an uprising because of President Trump's presidency, it's going to be in places like Chicago, D.C., Portland, L.A., all of the cities that he's deployed the National Guard. More violent cities like St. Louis, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, you're not going to have as much protesters there, but you do have a lot of crime. He's skipping over those cities. I think the writing's on the wall of why he's doing it, but he's going to tell you it's for lowering crime, and right now he can use that excuse. Anyway, looking in the comments, crime is down in Memphis. Crime is definitely going to be down with the National Guard. So let me go back to the box. Thank you guys that are tapping the screen. Help your boy reach that TikTok cap goal. Thank you for those who have supported the program. Looking in the comments here briefly, he sends it to places that are LGBTQ friendly. Yeah, he sends it to places that are the further to the left your city is, the more likely the National Guard is going to be there. I mean, virtually and by the way, Mike, appreciate the hat mustache. Thank you. Any liberal city, any big city in America has a lot of crime. You can make up the excuse that and by the way, because he's president, there's no requirement that he does it in any particular order or anything. If he wants to say there's a lot of crime in Portland, Maine, therefore he's deploying the National Guard, he legally can do that. So he can skip over the top 50 most violent cities and deploy to the 51st most violent. He can do anything he wants. That's actually legit. He can do that. And that's what he's doing. He's picking cities that have a heavy liberal base and just claiming it's about crime. But he's already spilled the beans in saying that he hates Democrats and he's targeting Democrat programs. He's kind of told you what he's doing. Gangsta grandma. So you've been called out. Some folks wanted to hear from you. Good evening, Gangsta.
Damn, I can't even go off on your ugly ass tonight. You haven't been really fluffing.
Thank you.
You got the uncooked protein out your mouth tonight.
Oh my God. Listen.
Yeah, you got it, but you know what? I still cannot stand the cornstarch ass monkeys. I still can't stand their asses.
Well, 230 million this guy's about to get. What say you?
That is fucking crazy. He's tearing down the White House, building a fucking damn ballroom. He's thinking his ugly ass ain't going nowhere, but he really is. I'm really hoping that natural causes takes his ugly.
Oh, come on! You need to stop that. You hope.
No. Fuck that. That's why I can't stand you. I don't get none of the damn little fucker, I can't give them no kind of grace.
You can't stand me because I don't wish for the president to pass away of natural causes?
Yeah, because he don't give two fucks about your black ass. He don't like us. He really don't. And he was big mad about the No Kings protest. You know what? You may say it doesn't work, but this is a first step. Okay? We had over 7 million black, white, Latinos, every nationality out there. That shows them, you listen to me, you uncooked cornstarch fucking monkeys. We are more of us than you. So contradict this, motherfuckers. Your day's coming.
Well,
how about that?
When you say we have more of us than you, I'll push back and say that didn't matter on election day. If you don't show up to vote.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Let me tell you, half those motherfuckers were dumb-dumbs. Fucking, I believe him. He's gonna cut the prices. Young motherfucking white people. Dumb fucks. That's why I call them fucking dumb-dumbs from hell. They believe the fucking fool. They like the uncooked protein shoved down their fucking throats. Now look at their fucking asses. They're paying most of everything's higher than that. Then they sorry fucks are going to lose their fucking benefits on November the 1st.
Well, a lot of folks believe that the liberals are just fear-mongering and making that shit up.
You're gonna fuck around and find out, aren't you? Your white uncooked protein motherfucker in the White House is taking your stamps, bitch. What you gonna do then?
What about the fact that Trump, according to many, is lowering crime? I want you to hear this. Mr. Realistic points out, I live in Memphis. Thank God the National Guard is here. We have peace for a few. Hope they stay. He's bringing down crime in major American cities.
He ain't bringing down shit. See, that's how stupid. See, did you see? He's like bent over, sucking on it. Really hardcore.
He lives there.
Like bitch. Shake it like a G without the fucking lube, motherfucker, you. Because, let me tell you something. They can't stay there for long, bitch, and it's going to happen all over again. Yeah, you think the crime's going down, it's going to go right back up, and then fucking comes up. And it's half the motherfuckers, they still got crime going down.
Yeah, but what if
They stole one of the fucking damn they stole one of the damn Jeeps and went on a mission.
What?
Down there.
What
Yeah,
happened? What happened? Wait a minute. What happened?
The little gangbang and whatever the fuck they was stole it and went boom boom. That was funny as hell.
Wait, are you saying
That was funny.
you're saying gangbangers in Memphis stole one of the government Jeeps?
Yes, one of the damn the military.
Oh my
They
God.
sure did. That was funny as hell.
Oh my God. But I mean, listen, I got a viewer that says they're on the ground in Memphis and they're glad what Trump is doing. Does he deserve credit for
You
that?
know what? Let me tell you something. That cornball motherfucker, that's what they are. They like the uncooked protein, man. Golly, that's just nasty as fuck.
Well, now, and I seen the comments, WA says skin color has nothing to do with it. In regards to you
Yes,
claim.
those dogs have a lot to do. See, that's what the fuck, that's why the fuck I call cornstarch fucking monkeys. The motherfuckers are dumb as fuck. They are dumb. They are dumb. All this is based on fucking racism. See, every time you tell a motherfucker why they voted for this man, they can't tell you the real reason. All they can say is the border, the border. No, they voted for this man for one thing. It was racism. They don't like black and brown motherfuckers. They want us out of here. But guess what, you dumb fucks? The Mexicans were here before your white tea motherfucking asses. You know, that's the real shit. And I'm so sick of the fucking white tea people. I am. I'm done. I am so sick of their asses. I am. So when I come hard on their asses, I come straight fucking hard. Because they don't know the real fucking history. They don't even have a holiday for the white tea man. They don't even have a fucking month like they do us. Because everything they had fucking done was fucking colonizers. And they stole and they fucking unalived fucking motherfuckers. You can't even tell they have a fucking damn culture.
Now,
They steal every goddamn thing.
David Allen says this is a racist if I've ever heard one. Let me just say this real quick. Hold on, hang on. Hold on, hang on. Hold on, hang on. You get hold on.
Type it in. You take your little white
I
ass.
want to respond to you
and that's
first.
why.
I want to respond to you first. You're gonna hate me for saying this, but I gotta push back. I don't believe that everybody voted. Wait a minute.
Oh, come on.
I 100%.
The fucking mouth.
I-
You're right. No, because they didn't. Oh, none of them don't vote because of racism. Yes, they fucking did. Get the white cock out your mouth. It's starting to drip again.
I disagree.
Are you gagging on it?
I disagree with you 100%. MAGA did not all vote for Trump because of racism. I always say it every single.
You're stupid. That's why they call you Timmy Tim Tim, man. And that's why they do it. See, that's why they call you colored and stuff. Because you're stupid.
You're
Because
wrong.
you take the fucking insult. You take it you take it.
You-
You're taking it. Get on your knees.
This has nothing. This is not always about race, Gangsta Grandma. I'm telling you.
It is about
No, it's not.
Tim.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Tim. All this shit is about racism. It is, Tim. And you're too goddamn stupid to realize it is. Everything that motherfucker's doing is about. He wants to take Democrat this, Democrat that. Who do you think votes mostly Democrat, you dumbass?
If you would let me get if you would let me get a moment to speak, because you're just in attack mode. I say this, you're still doing it. Okay, but we're not having a conversation when you're doing that. You're just talking. The point I'm making is, regardless of how you feel, Trump was, and I say this all the damn time, Trump was offering a lot of good shit when he was campaigning that had nothing to do with race. He's talking about getting the economy on course, bringing down the price of eggs, ending wars. Trump promised a lot of good shit. We were going to get the Epstein files. He promised all of that stuff. That had nothing to do with race.
People really believe that shit, right? They really believe. And the motherfucker's the main one that's on it. Go fucking figure. Go fucking figure. Let me tell you something. This was based on race. The whole election was based on race. The white man did not want a black woman in the fucking office. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it fucking real. They didn't want a black woman in the fucking office. They did not. She was more educated than that fucking white tea fucking fool was in office now. They didn't want her in office. Oh, God fucking forbid a black woman runs this country better than a white man do.
How about this?
Based on race.
How about this? WA in the comments even makes it clear. He says, humanity has been fighting for land since the fall of man. He says, we love black people. We love you. So he's talking about he voted for Trump. He has no problem with black people, and you're just going off the deep end.
Oh, you voted for Trump? Kiss my black ass, and you're full of fucking white tears. Get the fuck out. Now you're kissing. Get the fuck. I can't stand. Oh, no. Go on with your fucking cornball looking at fucking ass. You don't like us because you'll never vote for a fucking racist piece of shit. Everything that Ms. Harris said is happening. He's a racist. He's a fucking pig. And look, there's people coming out and showing text messages what the smarties are. He gave $40 billion to smarties. There's a lot of smarties in that country. That's how dumb you motherfuckers are. But go kiss their ass, Tim. Go kiss the white man's ass. Be the fucking fat butterball. Go over there. Kiss their ass.
It ain't got nothing. It ain't got nothing.
Be put in a fucking ass tree.
It ain't got nothing to do with kissing ass. I'm telling you what I tell you all. What do I tell you all the time? What do I tell you?
You always kiss your beloved motherfucking asses. You always kiss their fucking ass. And I'm so tired of it. That's why I go straight fucking ham on a cornstarch ass fucking monkeys. I do. I give no fucking goddamn grace to their asses. We're going through all this fucking hell.
I'm going to tell you the same. I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell you every time we have this conversation. The reason Trump is in office, this woman was a bad candidate. This woman was a bad candidate. That's why Trump won. Nothing to do with race.
I swear to God, I'm like if I was right there, I'll punch you in your fucking throat. I would break your fucking damn jaw for saying that. How dare you go against a fucking black woman? That woman was more intelligent than you got the fucking fool in office. How dare you disrespect her like that? I swear to God, if I could, I would go through this goddamn phone and choke you the fuck out. For even disrespecting her like that. I guarantee you put that white bitch in on. You put a white bitch in, you'll be saying, "Oh my God, that's my snow bunny." Get the fuck out of here.
What the hell is that?
Out of here.
What the hell?
Melania Trump, the one that you want to fuck so goddamn bad with a tuna fish looking ass. Yeah, put Melania up there. I bet you won't talk nice shit about her, right? But you're talking down to a black woman, right? You forget where the fuck you came from?
This has nothing.
Black woman?
This has nothing to listen.
Yes, it does. Yeah, that.
This woman was a bad candidate that had nothing to do with her race. Nothing to do with her race. Nothing to do with her race. She was a bad candidate because because of how she campaigned.
No, how she gave her 107 fucking days, you dumbass.
She wasn't doing interviews. She was asked, what would you do differently from Biden? She had no answer.
You know what? Every time she did a fucking interview, she talked so goddamn intelligent, the fucking fifth graders couldn't understand her. Because you know why? Because you're dum-dums. See, like Donald Trump had to talk to their fucking base, and like you didn't talk to them like a fucking fourth or fifth grader. Like, you know what I mean? No, she was talking like she was an educated black woman, and the motherfuckers couldn't understand that. So get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry, Tim. You can't talk like an educated black woman. I'm sorry you couldn't understand her. Get down to a fucking 5th grade level then, huh?
No, she just was a bad candidate.
She wasn't a bad candidate. So I guarantee you, if she was in office right now, we wouldn't be going through hell. Our White House wouldn't be getting torn the fuck up right now with a goddamn ballroom. He's taking our fucking money and building a ballroom. He's giving other countries $40 billion when poor people have to get rid of their fucking food stamps.
I'm not a fan.
We down the government to get all fucking damn insurance to go to fucking hell.
I'm not okay. I'm not a fan of the ballroom, but I want you to hear this and you explain to me.
Oh, you're not a fan of nothing.
No, you told me she's talking to people. Hold on, listen. You want to have a conversation. I want you to explain this since you said she's talking to people in plain English.
If anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Not only did she tie herself to Biden's decisions, she made it clear she wouldn't do nothing different.
Are you fucking that slow? She did the tiebreakers. You don't fuck. Get the white cock out your mouth. She did the tiebreakers. She helped him. Why would she throw her boss underneath the fucking damn bus? She helped. What Biden did was help us.
Would you even recognize if this woman was a bad candidate? Would you even recognize it?
She wasn't a bad candidate. Shut the fuck up.
Everybody knew.
Shut the fuck up. You're so fucking white. Go drink some bleach.
You
forgot what color you fucking
Why
was.
does me saying...
You forget what color you fucking was. And you don't, God fucking forbid a black woman comes up.
So you think...
Whitewash-ass fucking ninja.
So you, Jesus. So you believe her saying she could not think of anything different than she would do from Biden? That was a good answer.
She helped. Do you comprehend?
Yes or no question. It's a yes or no question.
She broke the ties. Why would she throw her boss under the fucking thing? Have you even read her book?
No, I have not.
You even read her fucking
I haven't read 100.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm
Shut
asking.
your black ass down somewhere. Shut your black ass down somewhere then.
I'm going to ask you a...
bald-headed fucking ass. Sit your ass down somewhere. Her book, you know what? Some of Biden's fucking so-called people threw her ass under the fucking bus. Threw her shit down. They fucked her ass over. Okay? Some of the fucking sorry ass Democrats. Yeah, I hate them for that. Because I didn't give her a fair fucking shake. So you sit your black ass down somewhere and go read that fucking book and then come back and tell me she wasn't a good fucking candidate. She had a lot going on. And that's fucked up that they did her dirty like that.
Well, now she got time to sit down and chill. Michael Thomas makes a good point in the comments. He says she was a good candidate that ran a bad campaign. I think you need to look at that. That is a much better answer than what you're feeding us.
She didn't. She only had 107 days. You doggone fucking idiot.
And she did terrible in the 107 days.
Biden should have stepped down earlier. Biden should have stepped down earlier.
Do you realize Gangsta, do you realize this woman misplaced nearly $1 billion of campaign funds? She had all the money in the world.
Oh my, that was debunked, you dumb fuck. Go look at it. It was debunked. Do you see what the fuck? Oh, Kim, I swear to God, if I was right there, me and you would be scrapping, and I'll go down for a goddamn DD fucking violation, and I'll beat your ass when I get right back down. I swear to fucking God, you are the most dumbest fucking idiot. I swear I cannot. I better shut my mouth before I say something because I'm about to choke you the fucking out. Now that was debunked, bitch. Debunked. Tell whoever said that. Debunked. It was debunked. You over here worried about her.
Bad candidate.
You worried about her.
Bad candidate. Bad candidate. I'm going to say that again. Bad candidate.
What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, but if it was a white bitch, you would.
It got nothing to do with.
Say that.
Quit trying to make.
Fucking snow bunny looking fucking. Oh, I can't.
Quit trying to make this about skin color. She was a bad candidate. C. Osby.
Let me tell you something.
Thank you for the hat and mustache, C. Osby.
They wouldn't. They didn't want a black woman in office. It was some of our fucking black folks. Oh, she wasn't black fucking enough. Okay? She wasn't black fucking enough. Now she's more black than half these motherfuckers in the hell. Then here what is. Then the white man said, oh no, we don't want a black woman in fucking office. Oh no, we can't do all that. No. It was built on racism. They did not want an educated black woman in fucking office. Don't tell me it was a
Let me ask you this question, because this is coming from Andy Mills in the comment, makes a great point. He says she wasn't even second in the primaries. She couldn't even do shit when she was running on her own, even in the Democratic Party. Do you not realize that?
Hey, get the white cock out your fucking mouth.
Nothing to do with cock. The bad candidate.
She was a damn
bad candidate.
Vice president. Okay, let me tell you something. With your snowball, fucking flaky looking, cocksucking ass fucking tube. Oh, God, I want to really go off on you. I really do want to go off on you.
As if you haven't already.
No, honey, I haven't went there yet, and I really want to. Let me tell you something. Name me one vice president that did more than her. I'll fucking wait.
I said she was a bad candidate because of her answers, not doing interviews. You know that?
She was a good vice president. She was going to
alter ego. Appreciate it. Thank you, folks, for helping your boy out.
She was going to be a good. We was going to be in this hell right now.
Okay.
What a fucking shutdown because of who? A Trump.
You and I ain't gonna
shutdown, right?
You and I ain't gonna agree on this woman. I do got to move it on, but I will close out by saying she was a bad candidate.
You know why? You know what, Tim? You really do forget that you're a black man. You came from a black woman.
What the hell does that got to do with this?
All right, let me tell you something. I came from a black woman. You'll never hear me talk down to a black woman because I know where I came from. So you're dumb, retarded, fucking looking ass. Oh no, you would degrade a black woman before you degrade a white woman.
You're talking all that black shit. I bet you if Tim Scott ran, you wouldn't vote for his ass. You want to vote for Byron Donalds?
No, I would not be. Who? Would I vote for who?
Byron Donalds.
If he's a Republican, I wouldn't.
All right, then. So it ain't got nothing to do with race. You're a liberal.
Why would I vote for a rowdy raccoon?
Oh my God.
Why in the name of God would I vote for a rowdy? Tell me that. Why would I vote for a maggot, a black maggot?
You the one that brought race into it because they're black.
I would never. I don't give a damn if. I promise you, I would never vote for a maggot. I don't give a fuck if he's black or white. I wouldn't because look what they fuck. They're schmatzis. They're schmatzis. Tim.
All right.
I would never shut my fucking soul. I'm not like you. I don't get on my knees.
You think Tim? You think Tim Scott is a Nazi?
Yes.
He's black.
He bowed down. He's a house ninja. Yes, master. He's sucking on it just like you, Tim. Just like you. Balls fucking deep.
All right, gangster grandma. I gotta move it on. I'm tired of the oral sex. I appreciate you coming through as always. That was a rough talk. She was not happy. She disconnected herself. Wow. Anyway, tap the screen. Look, when I say we are an uncensored program, I get it from the liberals too. Listen, if you're leaning right, you want to come on the program, we do believe in uncensored free speech. This is what happens when you run an uncensored program. This is live programming. So this is what happens. But we do not block, ban, or censor anyone. We are MAGA friendly. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome as well. You know, right now, mostly liberals call in. But if you are on the right side of the aisle, we said we go left of Bernie Sanders, so I'm having dinner with Q. So feel free to come on the program also if you lean right. We don't block, ban, or censor you either. We don't limit your time or dictate how you should speak. That's how free speech works. She's eating a Pop-Tart, says Magic Cat. Oh, my God. Tap the screen. I appreciate you folks that are helping your boy out with the hat, mustache, go pretty damn close. Thank you for supporting the program. If you live right, heaven belongs to you, says Melody Thompson. All right. I respect this guy. Rules to his show. Thank you, Henry Taylor. Listen, I'm taking, that's why I always ask for the support, because I'm taking a beating for this entertainment here. It's what it is. But listen, I do believe in letting the people speak. She's passionate. She believes the Republicans under President Trump are destroying the country. Just like a lot of folks on the right believe that the Democrats under Biden or Obama were destroying the country. There are plenty of folks who have called in to Rush Limbaugh during this day, who have called in to Sean Hannity even now and many other folks on the right, and one off just as much as the radio station would let them on, the liberals. There are plenty of gangster grandmas on the right that also believe the left was doing as much damage as my last caller believed the right is doing. It happens. You've seen John McCain snatch the mic out of the woman's hand, saying she wouldn't vote for Obama because he was a Muslim. She was no different than my last caller. She just was doing it with a little bit more tact, but she probably felt the same way about Obama. Anyway, looking in the comments, Bernie Sanders always insulting billionaires as if he's not a millionaire. Make that make sense. Yeah, Bernie Sanders has started to only use billionaires. Now he can't use millionaire because he is one of them. It does look a little bit, and I favor a lot of things that Bernie Sanders says. I do favor a lot of those things, but it does look a bit hypocritical, though, when you're talking about, climate change and you're flying around on a private jet, or you're talking about, millionaires are getting too much money when you happen to be one of them. I do understand. I do somewhat understand that. But then again, you're going to get hypocrisy from all politicians, because President Trump complained about a weaponized DOJ. Look what he's doing now. I mean, look what he's doing now. He's literally weaponizing the DOJ to do the same thing. So hypocrisy does live in politics. And for those who voted for Trump because he was going to drain the swamp, no. He just used the swamp for his purposes. I'm going to drain the swamp of my adversaries, and we're going to get in the swamp and do the same thing, but we're going to do it for our side. He's doing everything that he criticized the left, the deep state, and all of those people of doing. He's just doing it now. Up to and including backing Israel, or some might say Zionist or whatever. He's doing all of that stuff, all of the stuff that the right chastise the deep state and all of that stuff. He's doing the same stuff. He's just doing it for your side. Looking in the comments, if Kamala won, we'd probably all be dead right now. Come on, Shia LaBeouf. No way in hell. What do you think Kamala Harris is going to do after admitting, listen, if you're going to hold Kamala Harris accountable for saying she wouldn't do anything different than Biden did, then hold her accountable for that. If she does exactly what Biden did, we weren't going to die. So what do you mean if the only way Kamala Harris gets elected and everybody dies is she does something radically different than Biden did? So you can't hold her accountable then for saying I wouldn't do anything different. Clearly you think she's about to make a major difference. Pick one side and stick with it. Looking in the comments, she would have destroyed the rest of the economy. So half of us would be dead from fighting in the streets over food. How? What could Kamala Harris do in only 9 months that would destroy the economy so bad we're all in the streets fighting for food? Keep in mind, we had a Great Depression in America and people didn't die at that rate. So what the hell are you talking about? You think that Kamala Harris had plans in place to be worse than the Great Depression? Leading to the obvious question, based on what? What did the Biden administration do? Because the economy actually was starting to improve by the time Biden left office. I think you're attributing way too much negativity to what you expect of her. What would make you suggest that she was going to was fighting and dying over food? Anyway, continuing on with the program. By the way, tap the screen, get us on up to 120. Thank you folks that are helping your boy out with that. Gigi told you that, Gangsta Grandma told you they are racist without even knowing it. If she stayed Biden's course, we'd be doing good right now. Yeah, I don't see Kamala Harris. I think Kamala Harris would have been a very typical president. You'd have seen her on TV like Biden or Obama or some of them folks, maybe 2 or 3 times a month at best. You would have liked some of the things she's doing. You would have hated a lot of the things she's doing if you're on the right. But for the most part, the country would have been, politics at that level would have been boring, just like it was under Biden. I don't see it being much different than that. Going back to the box, so Takesha Bowie, both sides are the same, just different face, same agenda. The Senate and House needs to go. 99%. I would agree with you, Josh, if President Trump was not the president. You talk about Bush, Obama, and Biden. Yeah, both sides, a lot of similarities. Trump is different. Trump is totally different. Takesha, good evening.
Hey, Tim, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm getting out of the trenches. I'm assuming you're going to be kind.
I'm going to see what I can do, but listen. Today, Donald Trump said something that made my made my ass giggle.
Oh.
And I want to tell you what he said, Tim. He said the government has never been shut down until now.
Really?
Tim, how many times did the government shut down under Donald Trump?
I don't know, but he now holds the record for first and second most times.
3.
Wow.
3.
Why would he say that?
He said today, when he was talking in the what used to be the Rose Garden, he said the government had never been shut down, Tim. I said, what now?
Maybe you took him out of context.
I'm gonna say it again. These were his words.
I didn't hear that. I'm actually looking for that.
It's never been shut down until now.
Wow.
That's what he said, Tim.
Well,
they talked about Joe Biden cognitive ability, and every time Trump talks, if you pay attention to his speeches, he say the exact same thing. He gonna talk about the wars he's ended with no proof. He gonna talk about the trillions he's taking in from tariffs. He over there tearing up the White House to build a ballroom, and people over there celebrate that ain't gonna even be able to wax the floor if he hired them.
You raise a good point. You have a grandparent or some cases even a great grandparent, and you like grandpa or grandma. I've heard that story. You told me that he does repeat the same shit over and over. When you say it's gonna be 8 wars, it's gonna be bad things Obama did, you are right. When Trump speaks, you kind of can already give a bullet point of what he's going to say. You already
know his speech, Tim.
That is true.
Because he talks about the exact same thing, Tim. And then I got mad about this. You had so much empathy and compassion when you was talking about how I'm talking about Trump, when he was talking about how Argentina is suffering.
Yeah.
Those people are suffering. Those people have nothing. Those people. And I'm saying to myself, what about us? Now you're talking about you gonna buy beef to help them to build their. What about our?
I don't get that. I'm tell you what I don't get. What I don't get about. I don't get how MAGA. I'm talking about my beloved MAGA in particular. For you folks that are listening that are MAGA, I don't get how you folks were really against helping out the Ukraine and USAID and immigrants and stuff. Tina, because she is right. Where the hell did that come from? All of this sudden empathy and concern about the people of Argentina. Where did that come from? And you're right also pointing out that. Go ahead.
You can remember, Tim, when he was running, he said he was tired of America taking care of other countries. And when he became president, they was not going to help other countries. He was going to help America first. Till we ain't got a dime.
I don't get that. Certainly because it would be different if he could say, well, America's economy is so strong that we can do other things. He hasn't even helped us yet. I don't get that. I don't get that.
He would be lying, Tim. And then let me point this out, Tim. Do you notice that, Trump was all ready to help Vladimir, was ready to help Zelensky, right?
Yeah, until you got a call from Putin.
Until Putin said Donald Trump deserved the Nobel Peace Prize. Now you done turned on the man again because Putin came out and gave you a compliment. Didn't I tell you Putin know how to play Trump like a fiddle? All he got to do is compliment him, Tim. Just give him a compliment, Tim.
Well,
and he can get anything he want out, don't
you? Well, at this point, I do believe Putin really understands President Trump, but at this point, it's not just Putin. I think most of us, even MAGA, understands now that with Trump, flattery will get you everywhere. If you're complimenting Trump, it's going to have some benefits to you. That ain't just Putin.
Man,
you got to assume.
The White House right now. I can go to the White House right now and say you're the greatest. And he probably give me an extra Social Security check here, man. He played too much for me, Tim. It's really getting ridiculous in these streets, man. It's really getting ridiculous. You're tearing up you tearing up history. When you tearing up that White House, that is history.
Yeah.
And you're doing it so you can have a place to party. If you want to build something, take it to Mar-a-Lago. Why did it have to be? You said you weren't going to touch none of the White House for this ballroom. You said it was going to be next to it. But now you're tearing up the White House.
Legacy. I mean, he apparently, I'm watching, I forget her name on The View, but she used to work for the Trump administration. She's one of the cast members on The View. And she said that she defended Trump by saying he's been to other countries and he often talked about how they can host large events at their, at their Capitol or whatever their White House version is. And in America, their ballroom can only hold like 200 people, where these other places, they have
Can
big.
I ask you a question, Tim?
Sure.
What does that have to do with helping us out in the economy?
Nothing.
What we care about how many folks can go dance in a room when we dancing at the grocery store trying to make sure we got enough money for our whole cart that we got, Tim. I could care less about a dang on ballroom.
I gotta
and
say
that private don't.
Yeah, I do. I agree with you. I really wish that Americans were doing better before. Because this is just the ballroom is really just something that is going to entertain the wealthiest and most famous and powerful among us. You're right. The average American citizen is never going to be in that room, never going to see it. So I really wish that the economy and some of these other things were on track. Maybe he will strengthen the economy, but I wish we were there. Hold on. He's only been in office for 9 months. The economy may get better.
Go with this.
I got gas today. Listen, I got gas today in the Midwest for $2.49 a gallon. Is that not something you should get credit for?
Tim.
What?
Then we already agreed. See, y'all can't keep going back and forth. We already agreed that presidents do not control gas prices. His name is not Donald OPEC. His name is Donald Trump.
Well, Biden was taking credit when gas started going down, so it is what it is.
When, Tim?
Not only Biden, Kamala Harris I could probably find a video of them both saying it because we covered it.
And guess what I said?
What?
They do not control gas prices.
I'm just saying.
Her name is not Kamala OPEC, and his wasn't Joe OPEC. Okay. But let me say this: these people keep saying we got Trump deranged syndrome.
You're going to hear that.
Trump got Biden deranged syndrome.
Yeah, you're going to hear that.
Because every time Trump speak, he going to bring up Biden's name about 4-5 times. That man around here ringing the bell today because he threw with radiation. And you around here calling this man STUPID. And you one of the DUMBEST presidents we've ever had.
Well, one of my viewers wants to know where you work. He says, ask her where she works. I want to see something.
These motherfuckers. Oh, Tim. I'm trying to be good, Tim. I'm trying my best.
Oh, my God.
I'm trying my best, Tim, to be good. Let me say this to the dumb fuck that just asked you that. I work at minding my own motherfucking business like you should be doing. That's why I work at. You need to know anything else?
Let me play something before we continue. I want because this is what you said.
Any other questions?
Okay, and I'm sure there will be. They're claiming you're unemployed.
Okay, I'm waiting.
They're claiming you can't answer. They're suggesting that you're unemployed. But I want to hear this. We'll keep talking, but I want to hear this.
Unfortunately, in a craven and pointless act of partisan spite, Chuck Schumer, who I've known for a long time, and the radical left Democrats are holding the entire federal government hostage to appease the extremists in their party. And they are extreme. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. And it's a great bill. We don't need any more. And I want to just say from the beginning, our message has been very simple. We will not be extorted on this crazy plot of theirs. They've never done this before. Nobody has. You always vote for an extension. Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats need to vote for the clean, bipartisan CR and reopen our government. It's got to be reopened right now. We're not doing that. They are the obstructionists. And the reason they're doing it is because we're doing so well. In the greatest moment in the history of our country, in terms of wealth, in terms of job creation, and in terms of investment coming in, these guys go on strike. It's really a shame. So I'm asking them to be smart. It's not working. They're getting killed in the polls. The public understands what they're doing. They're doing the wrong thing.
Okay, I was looking for him to say the government never been shut down, like you said.
When he be waving his hand, Tim, he be lying. Every time he start lying, he start waving.
Okay, but he did not say the government has never. He didn't say the government has never been shut down.
Keep watching it. No, I want you to go watch the whole press conference. He did say it in there. Right, you ain't gonna tell me what he said because your big baked skin head ass didn't watch it. I'm so sick of you. You know I tried to be nice to you, but your Vaseline friendly head.
Oh my God! Come on.
I'm sick of you, Mr. Clean, Slick Shine. I'm sick of you.
Oh my God! Listen,
So sick of your big ball, sweat beat head ass.
why I gotta be a punching bag to all these? I gotta get MAG on the program so somebody can compliment me. Damn, you liberals are mean tonight.
Ain't nobody finna compliment you.
Well, at least you ain't accusing me of sucking dick. Goddamn. I mean, this is an awful night.
Be that kind of woman, because I don't know what go on behind your bedroom with the door locked and the curtain closed.
God.
I don't know.
Okay, all right.
Now stop it. But I need you to go back and watch the whole thing. He said it for real.
Okay, I will.
I promise you. I wouldn't lie on him. I don't have a reason to lie on him. He pitiful enough without me adding lies to him, Tim.
Okay, fair enough. So
now, did the man come back and what did he say? I won't say it. That's why that mean I don't work.
He said you wouldn't answer where you're working because you're unemployed. You don't have a job.
I work the corners. I work the corners in high heels and a little skirt and a wig. Call me Julia Roberts and Pretty Woman. That's what I do. I prostitute myself out from 12 to 4 every day. You happy now?
Oh my God.
You satisfied now?
In the minute you say that, I hear the damn.
I sell it to your uncles, your dad. You know, when he tell your mom he working at the steel mill, he really working me for the meal. Yeah, that's what I be doing. Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Okay, my jaws are hurting. All right. Okay. All right. It might be time to move.
Gangsta grandma, I tell you why they hurt. Don't do that.
Oh my. Come on now. Jesus.
I'm just telling you, Tim.
God.
But on a serious note, Tim. On a serious note, honestly, and I don't care what MAGA say. If they could just name me, besides talking about the border, because I care less about the border, name me one thing that Donald Trump has done that really helped the American people in these 9 months. Just give me one thing.
I got a couple answers, but I'm going to leave it to them in the comments to state them. I want to hear from them. Name something that President Trump has done in these 9 months that is actually helping the people. He says, yeah, she put grandma out of business since Georgia Bennett. God, I'm just taking it from both ends. But yeah, I would like to hear from the people. And I see in the comments, Jack one up to said, not a damn thing Trump is not. What has Trump done to help the American people in this last 8-9 months? I would like to hear from you folks. I have some answers. I do actually have some answers that might resonate.
What are they, Tim?
Huh?
What are they?
I want to hear from the people.
What are they?
I want to hear from the people first. I do want to hear from the people first.
Okay, and then I want to hear from you.
Now you're really putting my mind to the test here. But
no, I really want to hear what you got to say.
Well, I'll start out by saying that with the tariffs, there have been some commitments to bring jobs back to America. That's going to help out the American people. Is it not?
Tim, are the jobs here?
Okay, but this is in the future.
Hold on. I could commit to give you some sex on Friday night and never show up. I'm not talking about what somebody say they're gonna do. Okay. I'm talking about what is he do to help us right now while we're in a financial struggle, while the economy is going to the left, while we going in these grocery stores with these high grocery prices, while we getting our light bill out the mailbox and it's going up. What has he done that affects us now positively? I don't want to hear about what nobody promised to do, because them folks can say they're going to do anything and not come this way. Them folks say them deals have not even been signed. So Tim, shut your big ball flame.
Wait a minute, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet, and I'll see you on Friday night. I'll see you on Friday night. Let me just say it like this. What about him? You made me forget when you talked about Friday night. What was I about to say? I was about to say something. You kind of threw me off with that. Sometimes you can throw a brother off. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. He's breaking down crime in cities across the country. That's saving lives.
You're lying, Tim. Let me tell you something, Tim. Go look at the stats and tell me he bringing them down. Don't give me nobody on no AI video. Go and look at the stats and tell me how crime going down. Because in Washington, D.C., guess what? It is not.
You believe that?
Stop letting people make a fool out of you.
You believe that all of those National Guard being deployed in D.C., you don't believe? Hold on. You're telling me with the National Guard on the ground in D.C., you don't think crime came down at all?
Tim.
Come on now.
Tim.
You just tried not to get a guy credit?
Tim, that little bit that he did ain't did nothing when them folks turned their back. Them folks still doing the same thing they was already doing. I talked to a girl who live in Tennessee. I got a screenshot I can show you because we was talking about it on Facebook. And she inboxed me. She said, Takesha, I live in Tennessee. She said, these YNs, which you know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
She said, they doing the exact same thing they was doing before they came. She said they running them with their cars, trying to catch them. So Tim, these young boys, you think these young boys care about a National Guard when they don't even care about taking out their own family?
Well, I'm not hearing about a bunch of them getting arrested. So
they ain't finna get arrested, Tim. You know why? Because they can't catch them.
I don't know. And by the way, folks, YN means youthful Negroes, by the way. Youthful Negroes.
That ain't what that mean, young.
Well,
now, Tim, go ahead. Give me something else.
But
give me something else. I ain't seen that go down in Birmingham, so that ain't helped me. Go ahead, Tim. Give me something else.
He's protecting the integrity of the elections by requiring IDs. Ain't that helping us all out to make sure the elections are free and fair?
Tim, you got to give me better than this. Yeah, I'm going to go to the grocery store tomorrow, and when I get ready to pay for my stuff, I'm going to say, hey, the integrity of the elections. Now that should pay for these groceries.
I got to go. We'll talk about it in the future. I got to go. I'm not ready yet. I got to go.
I know you're not because you can't think of that. Stop being a fool and get off Fox 6. Goodbye.
Holla. Appreciate it. Good talk, Takesha. All right, moving on with the program. Takesha always puts me to work. If she stayed, Biden's course would be doing good right now. Somebody said, looking in the comments here. Oh, I just skipped forward. That's what I'm doing here. By the way, tap the screen. We're almost at that TikTok goal. Help your boy finish that up. Shout out to you folks that have helped support the program. Getting close to that TikTok goal. Let her stay, says Bads. Well, listen, and we're a big fan of Takesha. She comes on the program. You don't have to agree with the host on this program. Rare earth minerals, says Andy Mills. Have those rare earth minerals been successfully acquired though? Because one of the rules of her parameters of what she was saying describe is it has to be something Trump has done to help the American people that is in the past, not in the future, something that they've already benefited from. It is going to be few and far between. I was trying to give her a little shit and come up with what I could, but certainly financially, there isn't much there. And listen, I would give him credit if it was. P-Dub, thank you for the hat and mustache. Yeah, appreciate that. Helping your boy get real close. Thank you. But yeah, if there was something that he did, now the price of fuel, price of gasoline at the pump is down. I get that folks suggest that President Trump or the president, any president, is not responsible for that. But, you know, historically, we do give the president credit. DJ D's, nuts, thank you. DJ D's, thank you. But yeah, we do historically give the president credit, or we give them shit when the gas prices are up. So if the gas prices are low under Trump, he would get credit for it. If Kamala Harris was president right now and gas prices were $2.50 a gallon like they're in the Midwest, I don't think the liberals, well, you know, she's not responsible for it. No, you'd be giving her credit for it. You would be giving her credit for it. I'll tell you this, if gas was $5 a gallon right now, the same liberals that's saying that the president is not responsible, they would be blaming Trump for the $5 a gallon. So listen, whether he's responsible or not, as president of the country, you get credit or criticism for the wins and losses of the nation, which is why I also would submit to you and DJ D's. Yeah, thank you. I would also submit to you that the same applies to the government shutdown. Doesn't matter if President Trump is responsible for the gas prices or not. If the gas prices are low, he's going to get credited for it and he's going to take credit for it. That also applies to the government shutdown. Doesn't matter if the liberals are not going along with his plan or working with the Republicans or not. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, his history is going to tell you that the government was shut down for so many days, and they're going to say it happened under President Trump. Nobody talks about who was in Congress or the Senate in terms of legacy. That's just, I mean, you think about Bill Clinton. How often do we talk about the Congress? under Bill Clinton. I mean, the different laws that he got passed. Obama was able to pass the Affordable Care. Does anybody give credit to Congress and the Senate for doing that? No, it's him. He gets credit for that. So if the government is shut down under President Trump, that shutdown is going to go on his resume. It's not going to go on Hakeem Jeffrey or Nancy Pelosi. That was going to go on his resume. Nobody's going to be talking about Hakeem Jeffries 20 years from now. I'm talking about Trump. It's going to go on his resume. So he can dodge and say whatever the case may be, but it's going to go on his resume. And I'll submit this to you. If you were talking about the shutdown under Obama before Trump got elected for a second time, he would blame Obama for the shutdown. He wouldn't be talking about the Republican members of Congress or the Democrat members of Congress. It's going to go on the president. So he can try to spin it any way he wants, but that shutdown is going. When they say that the first longest shutdown in history was 35 days that happened under Trump's first watch, we're at 22 days now, and this one is likely to surpass the one he had the first one. So he's going to be the president that authored the longest, the first and second. Well, he's already the president that authored the first and second longest shutdown. The only difference is number 2 is going to switch places with number 1. Looking in the comments, he don't care as long as it's shut down. He ain't got to worry about the e-files coming out. That's going to go on his resume too, though, Charles Morgan. You're right. He'll be able to dodge accountability for what's in the Epstein files. But historically, his legacy probably will show that either he abused underage girls or that he defended somebody that did. Because eventually, just like with the deep throat with what is the guy's name? Richard Nixon. What actually happened eventually came out. You know what I'm saying? What's done in the dark will come to the light. What's on that Epstein shit it's eventually going to be discovered. And it will be added to his legacy. He's either going to go down in history eventually as somebody who either abused young girls or defended others who did. That is going to come out. It's just a matter of him dodging any sort of accountability for it. So if it ends up coming out after he passes away, then he won't be held accountable for it. But it will go down on his resume. It's almost certain to go down on his resume. Anyway, going back to the comments, I'm waiting for Miss Karma to enter the room. Yeah, well, Miss Karma may enter the room after he passes away. But that's going to go down on his resume. Certainly how he handled it, how he tried to prevent it from becoming public information and things like that. It's going to go down on his resume. We'll go to Sherbert in the comments. Cover-ups continues. Yeah, big homie. I agree. Oh, better yet, MAGA reacts. Good evening, MAGA.
Yo, the cult has been after you the last couple of days.
It's rough times at Richmond High, man. It's not easy being a host that lets everybody speak. I've been a whipping boy tonight.
Cult, man. They want you to speak a certain way, to only, point out their shit, point out their pros and none of their cons, and only our cons and none of the pros. I mean, they're telling you what to say. They're mad at you for speaking your mind. You got to follow the cult, man, or they're going to keep talking shit about you.
Well, let's be clear. The right is not very friendly to people that criticize the right either. So, I mean, there is some of that on both sides. I mean, Liz Cheney and some of them folks are only gone because they spoke out against Trump.
Listen, Liz Cheney, I mean, MTG speaks out against Trump, but she's not getting any problem. Like, she doesn't have any issues.
Because she just started doing it. Because she just started doing it. Give it time. She just started doing that.
A lot of people speak up against Trump. They're fair.
Give me some names.
It's when you completely don't understand what's going on, and then
give me some names.
Him for shit.
Give me some names. Give me some names.
Like Carl Tucker. Fuck, I can't. I suck with names.
Tucker Carlson.
What the fuck? Yeah, he goes against Trump all the time, especially when it comes to Israel. But nobody gives him any shit for it because he's speaking the truth. And then what's the other guy? I'm really bad with names. I'll get you a list of names next time.
Okay.
But there's a lot of people that speak up against Trump. But as long as they speak fairly, we don't care. It's when you guys misrepresent what he says, when you guys call him a Nazi, when you guys just get it all wrong. Like if you're getting it right, like MTG is mostly getting what she's saying right, and her criticism are legit. So she's gonna be fine. No one's giving her too much of a hard time.
I don't tend to. I'll be glad to have you back on the program when they start attacking Marjorie Taylor Greene and ask you what about now. But I want you to hear this. If you haven't heard this already.
I mean, it's not going to be like Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney straight up betrayed the right because she had more in common with fucking what's her name?
No,
Harris and
no,
us.
that's bullshit. Liz Cheney voted with Trump.
An establishment.
Liz Cheney voted with Trump like 95% of the time or more. In fact, the only problem that the Trump administration had with Liz Cheney is she didn't believe what January 6th did was something Trump was not responsible for. If you take away January 6th, Liz Cheney would still be a congresswoman out of Wyoming. That's the only thing she done wrong is she didn't side with Trump on January 6th. There was nothing else she did wrong.
What about Fetterman? Fetterman votes with the Democrats most of the time, yet they fucking disown him like we disown Liz Cheney.
We don't disown Fetterman like you disown Liz Cheney. I mean, Fetterman's still a senator. You guys really disown Liz Cheney. We didn't go that far.
She was never part of the movement. She was just an old tag along.
Where are you getting that from? If you and I was having this conversation on January 5th, the day before that stuff, Liz Cheney was a well-respected member of the Republican Party. Her problems in Trump's term was over with. Her last 2 weeks, because of how she sided with the liberals in regards to January 6th, before that, she didn't have any problems at all. What are you talking about?
First of all, the Cheney name. I would have if you'd asked me January 5th, I would have said I don't like her just with the Cheney name. One of the reasons fucking Trump got elected was because he was anti-Bush and Cheney and all them. So are you gonna tell me the daughter of Dick Cheney was loved on January 5th?
If I had to ask you on January 5th, is she likely to win the next election? You would have said, hell yeah. She was a stronghold in Wyoming. After January 6th, Trump started speaking out against her. MAGA turned against her, and her fate was sealed. But it wasn't until January 6th, which was only 2 weeks before Trump's term ended. She was in good standing with the Republican Party. Maybe you didn't like her, but the party loved her.
They knew she existed. She was nobody. The only reason I would have hated her or liked her, the only reason I would have hated her because of her dad. And the only reason she probably won that area is because she had no competition.
Everybody only hated her after January 6th. You can say what you want to say now, but on January 5th, that woman was on.
I hated Dick Cheney before.
We're not talking about her dad. We're talking about her. She was on course to be a Wyoming Republican congresswoman as long as she wanted. Just like Marjorie Taylor Greene could probably ride out to the sunset in that area.
You telling me that all the people that hate Trump love his sons? That if you told them he had a son that a new son like Barron, they say, oh, I love Barron, I just hate Trump. You think they would have said that?
Well, I think Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think Liz Cheney's case is different because Dick Cheney, the vice president, he's been gone since 2008, and she was still a congresswoman in 2020. So she had been around for 12 years later. So they clearly was not hurting. It was not hurting her being related to Dick Cheney. She's been a congresswoman. They only get 2 years each election or whatever. So she clearly was continuing to win long after her dad was in power.
I got you, but still, she has the same politics as her dad, and a lot of MAGA hates fucking Dick Cheney. So her having the same politics.
I don't see where they hated Dick Cheney. I mean, they elected him twice.
What do you mean?
They elected him twice.
No. That was different. That was pre-MAGA. That was way before MAGA. MAGA did not elect fucking Bush twice.
No, MAGA don't like. MAGA don't like who. No, it ain't that MAGA didn't like Dick Cheney. MAGA doesn't like whoever Trump tells MAGA not to like. If Trump liked Dick Cheney, MAGA would like him too.
MAGA, especially the ones that used to be Democrats like myself, we hate Dick Cheney and fucking George Bush and the Iraq War and all that shit.
There was nobody speaking out on the right talking about how much they hated Dick Cheney until just like the Bushes. The right was not criticizing the Bushes until Trump came along. There's a whole lot of folks that you guys no longer like that you loved until Trump said, this is not a good guy. You guys didn't have a problem with Mitt Romney. In fact, all of these folks you promoted to be your Republican nominee for president. You loved him. You were going to put him in as president until Trump came along and said, this dude sucks.
Democrats before Trump, so I don't know what you're saying. We loved him and we
I'm saying that if you
a lot of MAGA will tell you they voted for Obama. So we definitely did not like Cheney.
I am simply saying that if you voted for a guy to be your nominee for president, you obviously liked them.
We didn't. There was no MAGA before fucking Trump, and we never voted. We voted for Obama. A lot of us will tell you we voted for Obama.
Okay.
I know you've heard it before.
Yeah,
I'm
I've heard
the
it.
first person to say that.
Bro, MAGA.
Yeah, so how do you say we liked Cheney before we just didn't hear about her once we knew who she was, and the fact that she was siding with the establishment, which Cheney is also a fucking establishment person. And if you would have told me about her before January 5th, I would have told you I don't like her just because of Cheney name and the fact that she has the same politics as him.
Yeah, and in the comments really says, have you ever been to Wyoming? You don't know shit. I don't know if he's talking to me or you, so I can't respond to that. But in the comments also, so I've been to Wyoming.
But I know MAGA.
Huh?
I don't know Wyoming. I don't know how many regular Republicans, the old school Republicans it has, how many MAGA it has. I just know as a MAGA person and just listening to Trump and all the shit. The first thing he did was attack the Bushes and the Cheney and
the people you guys loved before he came along. Once Trump came along, he convinced MAGA, and all MAGA didn't vote for Obama. I'm talking about the MAGA that was Republican. Most MAGA voted for Bush. They didn't. Most of them did not vote for Obama. So I'm saying that the MAGA who voted for McCain to beat Obama, the MAGA that voted for Romney to beat Obama, the MAGA that voted for George W. Bush 2 terms, most of them folks, once Trump came along, convinced them that you don't like all the people you just voted for. You don't like the Bushes no more. You don't like Romney. You don't like McCain.
But Trump got the nominee for the Republicans by going against all these people.
He didn't go against Romney. He didn't go against Romney.
And say, oh, I love Bush and I love all those people you mentioned. Trump from day one hated those people, was against those people. And they said, first thing he said was they fucked up the country and I'm going to have some common sense and fix the country. He did not become the nominee by siding with those people or allying himself with those people.
No,
so I don't know how you're going to say
Trump became the nominee by telling MAGA that everybody else sucks and I'm the only one that can fix things.
Yeah, including all the people you mentioned.
Right. That's it.
He said, so most of MAGA started out with, oh yeah, we agree with you that these people sucked. So how are you going to say we voted for them when from day one, Trump said these people sucked and we agreed with him?
Yeah, but before Trump told you they sucked, you actually liked them. That's what I'm saying. Trump convinced you folks to hate people you actually liked.
A lot of us didn't. No, again, you're putting things backwards. Trump became popular by telling us that he doesn't like these people and we agreed with him.
Okay. I want you to hear this. Okay, fair enough. I want you to hear this and give me your opinion on this.
And I'm glad we are able to do so, Ouija, because late this afternoon, the New York Times broke a story that says President Trump is requesting or will soon request of the Justice Department some $230 million in, the word is, quote, compensation for the cases brought against him. And of course, Ouija, that would be reviewed, that request, by many senior Justice Department officials who, oh, by the way, used to be his personal attorneys.
And Major, that is the oh, by the way, that has so many questioning the validity of what the president is doing here, because as you mentioned, many of the officials working in the Justice Department, including the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, either represented the president himself or those in his orbit. Blanche was one of the president's former personal attorneys.
$230 million he wants from the Justice Department, which means that's coming out of your pocket and my pocket, the taxpayers. What say you?
Yeah, I don't like that at all. No.
You think he'll get it?
Especially, I don't know. I hope he
you
does.
You heard her say who's responsible for deciding whether he gets it or not, which are people that used to work for him.
Yeah, but I hope they're just misrepresenting things, which most of the time it ends up being that they're misrepresenting.
How the hell do you misrepresent? I want $230 million. How do you misrepresent that?
Trump says he wants a lot of things. Does he actually get it? We'll see. If he actually gets it and takes it and keeps it, then I'll be like, yeah. That's
give me something that you say Trump says he wants a lot of things. Does he actually get? Give me something that Trump wanted that he didn't get.
How about Jimmy Kimmel getting fired?
He did get fired. He just got rehired. He did get fired. And by the way, Trump claims he didn't want that. Trump claims the guy said something bad, and that was a firing between his employer and him, and Jimmy Kimmel himself. Trump says that he didn't have nothing to do with that.
Look, there's a lot of things that Trump mentions that he fucking takes a second thing that thinks about twice and cancels. What's important is what he's constantly working for, which is peace in Ukraine, peace in the Middle East. You know, you guys were talking about gas prices. He lowered gas prices because he was friends with the Saudis. I mean, he's friends with most of the OPEC nation, and, you know, they're bribing him with airplanes. You don't think they're going to lower gas prices if he asks?
Wait, they're bribing him with airplanes. He said that airplane was a free gift.
Look, I'm just going with your narrative.
You said that. You said that. Let me ask you: do you think
I'm just saying, using your logic, using what you say is true. I don't believe it's true, but you think it's true. If you think these countries love him so much that they'll give him free airplanes, you don't think they're going to basically lower gas prices by increasing the supply?
No, I don't think that I don't think. Wait, hold up. I don't think it's I don't think it's a matter of they love him so much. I think that they feel that we can have a quid pro quo. We can have a transactional, some kind of deal. It ain't got nothing to do with love. If I give you an airplane, you're going to train me how to fly F-15s on your soil, then you can have the damn airplane. Got nothing to do with love. It's a business deal.
Look, yeah, that's a good thing. Him doing business deals, I don't know. You guys keep representing him as a bad thing. That's one of his good traits, that he can do business with anyone, friends or enemy. You know?
Okay, so maybe he's doing a business deal with the DOJ when he says he wants $230 million. Maybe that's a business deal.
Yeah, I don't like that business deal because it's against, you know, it comes out of our tax pocket. But if it's coming out of the pockets of the Middle East, or if he uses it to lower gas prices for all of America, I like it. But obviously, the business deal you're talking about, I don't like.
When do we get to the point? Let me ask you, when do we get to the point where we can say America, because he said he's going to focus on America first and make America great again, and now he's talking about he wants, you know, $230 million. When do we get to the point where he's actually doing things to help out Americans? You heard my last caller ask me a question of what has he done for the average American? Do you have an answer for that? Something he's done good for the welfare of the average American, maybe putting food on the table and things like that?
I mean, you think these terrorists and all the shit he's doing for the good of himself? You know, these things don't really benefit him. He uses that leverage to get things done for America.
I think when you
gas prices, including peace in the Middle East, including returning hostages, including, you know, stopping countries from going to war with each other.
I think when you impose a tariff on the nation of Brazil, for instance, because you don't like that they are charging one of their former leaders with staging a coup, so you don't want the guy prosecuted, so you decide to slam an additional tariff. I think he's using the tariffs as revenge. I mean, I think a lot of these tariffs are just being used as revenge. It has nothing to do with making America great again. Some of these tariffs are just to punish other countries that are doing things he don't like.
It would be revenge if he wasn't trying to get them to do stuff. He's trying to make deals. If it's revenge, he would do it no matter what, and he would never take it off. But he's trying to persuade them to do things that benefit America. So, you know, I don't know the whole story about Brazil, but, you know, he's using it to accomplish a goal. He's not using it for revenge. Revenge is when it's revenge, the only goal is to hurt the person. In this situation, the goal is to help some friend of his, which I don't like, by the way. I'm not saying I like it. If that's the whole truth, I'm sure there's more to the story.
Okay, well, I got one more for you before I move on. I want to get your opinion on this one as well, because busy news day. He's done a lot in the last day or so, but I want you to hear this.
A man pardoned for his actions on January 6th is under arrest after allegedly threatening to kill Hakeem Jeffries. New York police say the 34-year-old suspect is charged with making a terroristic threat against the House Minority Leader. Let's bring in ABC's Alex Mallon for more on that. So, Alex, what's the latest here?
Yeah, we know that Christopher Moynihan was taken into custody on Saturday under charges by the New York State Police that he made terroristic threats against Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries. Those included texts that he was sending to an unidentified individual that included saying, quote, "I cannot allow this terrorist to live, and even if I am hated, he must be eliminated." Now, obviously, this comes at a time of real rising political violence and fears that people are going to move forward and acting on those threats across the country. This was allegedly in advance of an event that Hakeem Jeffries was set to attend.
Now you're hearing him. This is a January 6th pardonee. So Trump pardoned this guy, and now he's talking about taking out the minority speaker, Hakeem Jeffries. If this guy had done this, would you have viewed this as blood on Trump's hands?
Yeah. I mean, yes and no, because Trump didn't know that when he released them.
Well, you know how when people like Lincoln Riley lost her life, and they suggested that Biden is letting people in the country without checking who they are or where they're from. Trump did not check out any of the backgrounds of any of these January 6 people. His words were, "Fuck it, just let them all out." What's the difference between him doing that and Biden letting people in that we haven't checked out?
I mean, we know they're Americans, or these other people.
Jeffrey Dahmer was an American. What is your point? What does that mean?
What do you mean? He's American. You know, he has a right to be in this country. He has a right to be free.
We're not talking about. And April Jones, I do see. I'm saying.
Then you're gonna go after judges for freeing, people after they serve their You can't predict the future. I don't know, why these. What are you talking?
He didn't. No, he pardoned the guy. The guy did not do his debt to society, which is what you're getting at. Trump just pardoned him. So that's what I'm asking. With Trump pardoning folks that he didn't even look into their jacket or see if they had any violent background, because another guy got into a shootout. Another January 6th protester was killed by the Indiana State Police because he got in a shootout with him. Trump words was fucking let them all out. He didn't do any type of actual due diligence to make sure.
He only pardoned their January 6 actions. So if they had a history of crime somewhere else, that wasn't pardoned at all. If they were in jail for any other reason, he didn't fucking get them out. It's only January 6 related stuff that he pardoned.
Right,
so he
but
can't be
hold on.
responsible for other crimes that had nothing to do with January 6.
The hell you can't. If I'm on my 6th bank robbery and you pardon me for some more shit, without knowing that I've already robbed 6 banks, that I'm a career criminal, you're telling me you don't get blamed for the fact that you pardoned a career criminal because it ain't got nothing to do with the 6 bank robberies?
Yeah, because when it comes to shit like that, I mean, if you were in court for crime number 7, you're not allowed to bring up crime number 1 through 6 unless they involve crime 7.
Go tell that to the family of George Floyd. Go tell that to the family of George Floyd, because every damn thing he did came up.
I know, but that's not how our justice system works. When you go to court for a crime, you're only there to answer that one crime. You're not there to answer all your other crimes.
Since when? They didn't even let P. Diddy get away with that shit. They brought up stuff that he did that he wasn't even convicted of.
What are you? Case too. P. Diddy should be fucking free right now. How the fuck do you get convicted for prostituting for having sex with your own girlfriend?
I'm just gonna.
He didn't get in trouble for having sex with a prostitute and taking the prostitute over fucking state line.
What you're saying is
taking his own girlfriend of 10 years over state lines.
What you're saying is so foreign. I got people in the comment section that are saying you're trolling. I mean, that's how bad it is. I mean, since when does your priors not come into consideration? If you're being pardoned, just like if you're in prison and you're being paroled, your priors are going to be part of the decision-making process. If Trump is pardoning someone for the
sentencing thing, but it's not part of your of the case. It can't be used to prove you guilty. It can be used to consider your sentence, but it can't be used in the case unless it involves the case. I mean,
what you're saying makes no sense. If somebody is putting you up for a pardon for something you did, and the family can say, well, 6 years ago he did this and he did that 8 years ago, and that's going to be taken in consideration. You're telling me that this guy, all of the stuff he did before January 6th is irrelevant?
if you're a computer hacker and you've hacked 1 million computers and then you murder someone, your computer hacking has nothing to do with the murder case, so it shouldn't be brought up in your fucking murder case.
It's going to come up.
Justice system works. I'm not inventing this shit.
Anytime you got a history of priors, it's going to be taken in consideration when they're judging what you're in front of them for. I don't know. It makes it sound like you've never been in America.
No, it's considered when it comes to like bail, when it comes to sentencing, but when it comes to actually being proven guilty, no.
It definitely comes. It definitely is going to be taken into.
It's case by case. But
No,
still, most of the time,
anytime you're seeking a pardon, which is what Trump gave this guy, priors are going to be taken into consideration. Anytime you're seeking a pardon, what you've done in the past is going to be relevant.
If you put it that way, you're right. But when it comes to being proven guilty or not guilty, it's supposed to be kept separate.
I didn't say nothing about proven guilty or not. I'm saying Trump pardoned people without checking to see if they had prior felonies.
Yeah, but he pardoned them for January 6th. He didn't. It wasn't a normal pardon.
So do you think he should have, when he pardoned them for January 6th, do you think he should have checked to see if any of them had prior felonies?
To be honest, no. Because January 6th, how do you know this guy wasn't radicalized by what happened to him on January 6th? He could have been radicalized by January 6th, by, all the jail time he went through and all the shit that he went through. What if he was innocent and didn't really do anything and then he was just fucking strung up because of January 6th? And it was the thing that radicalized him.
Okay. I got to move it. You're the first person I've ever heard that suggests that when you pardon.
Speaking of what ifs, this is the problem with Democrats. Yeah. Everything you talk about is what if, what if, what if. I don't have a fucking time machine.
So this ain't got nothing. This has nothing to do with. This has nothing to do with Democrats or Republicans. When you're getting pardoned, if somebody's going to let you out of jail, your character and how you've lived in the past as well is going to be taken in consideration. According to you, it should not. I've never heard that before.
It depends on the pardon. On a normal pardon, I would agree with you, but this is a pardon for a specific
crime.
What
is a normal pardon? What is a normal pardon? What is that?
When you're pardoning someone for a crime they did that has nothing to do with anything else, like a regular pardon, an everyday pardon, not a general pardon for everything that happened on that day. It's like pardoning all the people that were involved in the Civil War and then realizing that one of them is a murderer.
Everybody that was arrested on January 6th was arrested for something they did. Period. Something they did.
No, a lot of them were just arrested for just being there.
It's a crime to just be there. You're trespassing. You're in a place where it's not open. You've broken and climbed through broken windows and shit. You're in a place that everybody that's there is committing a crime.
Like, this is one of your black holes that I'm not dumping into.
I gotta go. We'll leave it at that. All right, MAGA. Appreciate you coming through. All right. That's the first I've ever heard of that. I don't think, and I'm going to tell you something, I don't believe that most MAGA would agree with that. If you took Trump and January 6th out of the equation, and we were just simply talking about a governor or a president of some other caliber pardoning somebody, the notion that their prior criminal history should not be made relevant, I don't even think MAGA would agree with that. Now, obviously, maybe because it's Trump, that's some kind of special provision they may agree with. But otherwise, I don't think anybody would agree that you should pardon somebody without taking into consideration their priors. One may be pardoned by a governor or the president. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If the governor pardons somebody, and the governor said, I'm only looking at them for what they are being pardoned for, I don't care what they've done in the past, people will go ape shit. Never heard somebody say something like that. Republicans, not MAGA, call them who they are. Depends. In some cases, they're one and the same. I get what you're saying, though. Whether we agree or not doesn't mean a shit. A pardon is a pardon. Tough shit. Former, I don't get what I guess you're saying. Fuck your feelings. Tough shit. No, a pardon is not a pardon. And as I just stated, if this exact scenario happened and you switch the R with the D, the Democrats doing what Trump did, the Republicans will be going ape shit. Let's take Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden has a drug history. The right is not happy with Biden pardoning him. They've brought up the fact that he has a prior history of being involved with drugs. Now all of a sudden Trump does it and it don't matter, huh? Okay. You don't see the hypocrisy. I can smell it a mile away. Anyway, looking in the comments, I can't believe it was just that simple to bring it up. As usual, they'll do mental gymnastics to defend everything this man does. Not one of them can even criticize Trump for anything. And that right there, I do believe was some serious mental gymnastics. We're focused, what does that say? We're focused on the right and left when we should be joining hands to fight against, I don't know what this, to fight against fentanyl and heroin. Okay, what is that what you're saying? We're shaking hands. We says we're focused on the right and left when we should be joining hands to fight against fentanyl and heroin and help the homeless. Well, most Americans are not dealing with any issues related to fentanyl or heroin. That doesn't affect my life at all. I don't know anybody that's using fentanyl or heroin or any of it. I mean, I would much rather be able to pay for groceries than deal with fentanyl or heroin. And by the way, with President Trump bombing boats off the coast of Venezuela, where, claiming that they're bringing fentanyl into America, something that doesn't even look logistically possible for the vessels he's bombing. And he's bombing them coming from a country that's not known for producing fentanyl. The shit Trump is doing does not add up. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, as I mentioned earlier, the Epstein files, eventually, whether Trump is alive or not, what's in those files will go on his resume. That shit happening off the coast of Venezuela is going to go on his resume too. That shit is going to go on his resume. If you're going to bomb a submarine claiming that they have drugs on board as the reason why you bombed it, and 2 people on the submarine survive, and the U.S. military rescues those people out of the water, people that were allegedly dealing drugs so much that you tried to kill them, and your response is, well, now that we saved them, we're going to send them back to their home country. That makes no fucking sense. They were dealing drugs so much that you just tried to kill them. But because they survived the bombing, you decide, we're just going to repatriate them to their own. You're not going to bring them to justice. You're not going to charge them with anything, huh? That makes no sense whatsoever. I'm just going to tell you that eventually what's going down off the coast of Venezuela will also go on Trump's resume, and it won't be good. History will not judge him kindly on that stuff. Something's going on down there that is probably not legitimate because you can't, no, I don't know what did he say? I don't know anybody that has a submarine. Okay, then if you caught the dudes and they're dealing drugs, then you should have taken them into custody. They should be under arrest right now, waiting trial. You just sent them home, send them back to the crib, huh? Because they didn't die. I mean, that makes no sense whatsoever. That really makes no sense. Tim, welcome back. It says MAGA reacts 2 times ain't shit. Says handsome stubby figures. I'll give it to you 2 times. He says MAGA reacts ain't shit. 2 times ain't shit. Oh my God. What the hell MAGA reacts was talking about out of his ass. Also, Oklahoma City versus the Houston game in double overtime. Really, they started the season out that way? Damn. My Bulls play tomorrow. Chicago Bulls play tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that game. 2 double overtime on the first game, huh? Wow. Never heard of a vice president having pardon powers. Neither have I, Keith. Neither have I. I don't know who's talking about the VP pardoning people. Y'all act like January 6th was some big deal and George Floyd's was nothing. Wow. Wow. You're telling me what George Floyd did is worse than what happened on January 6th? You think 50 years from now, we're going to forget about January 6th and be still talking about George Floyd? Really? Surrounded the Capitol building. Basically, you got all of the powers of the United States in one location, and that one location is being overran. Something that the world saw, showed the world how weak America is that they had literally took over the Capitol building. And if they had got to the Senate and Congress, they could have literally decapitated the United States government, leaving only President Trump as the lone survivor, because they had the vice president, all of Congress, and all the Senate in one building. If they had took all them folks out, President Trump would have been the only person in power, and we would have had to form a whole new government under him. You're putting George Floyd passing a fake $20 bill, allegedly, in the same conversation is January 6th. Jesus Christ. Let me go back to the box. I don't even know what to do with nothing like that. Going back to George Floyd. Wow. We might go to Sherbert. I guess he's gone. And we'll go to Mr. Realistic. Did you guys help your boy get that TikTok cap goal? Appreciate that. The hat mustache goal. Thank you folks that are supporting the show. I appreciate that. George Floyd compared to January 6th. Mr. Realistic, how about you be realistic? Tell me, how does that sound?
I'm sorry?
George Floyd. Oh, is this Greenland?
No,
this
is Mr. Realistic.
Okay, I got a guy who calls in from Greenland, the country of Greenland. You sounded like him. Now, somebody's suggesting that the Democrats are making it sound like January 6th was a big deal and George Floyd was nothing, indicating that what happened with George Floyd was worse for, I guess, the country and everything than January 6th. What do you say on that?
Oh, man. I really don't have much of an opinion of either one, to be honest with you.
You don't have any opinion on January 6th?
Political deal. They were both political deals. They were both turned into political stories. It was sad on all effects. It's sad that George Floyd lost his life because an officer didn't call an ambulance and that they knew he would take all the drugs and that he had done this several times.
What do you mean when you say what do you mean when you say they knew he would take all the drugs? Who are they and what drugs are you talking about?
He was oh man, it's been a while, but I read a bunch of the case study on that. And they had taken him to the hospital when he was arrested, I think 3 different times, because he would eat all the drugs that he had on him, because if there's no drugs on you, they can't charge you with possession. And he would OD. So they knew he would do this. So
who are they? Are you saying that Derek Chauvin knew he was going to be taking a lethal cocktail?
It was in his police files. I mean, when he was calling all that in, and they said, he would have to call in who he's got detained or whatever. They should have said, oh crap, make sure that, find out if that guy has drugs on him. And if he doesn't, get an ambulance out.
So you're saying that George Floyd had a history. So you're saying that George Floyd had a documented history when dealing with cops to swallow large amounts of drugs.
Correct. If he had it on him.
Where'd you hear that from? I've never heard that before.
It's in the docket files. Go read the dockets.
Okay. And you're saying that actually happened during this arrest?
Yes.
And it was a
lethal. What killed him.
So you believe it was a lethal amount?
It was a lethal amount.
That never came out in the trial.
Yes, it did, but it was never reported by the media.
So if the drugs killed him, according to you, then how did Derek Chauvin end up being convicted of murder?
Oh, I think he was absolutely. I don't think he should have been convicted of murder, but it was definitely manslaughter. Because, first of all, I saw the video evidence. I was a naval hospital corpsman a long time ago. And when people are peeing all over the pavement and saying they can't breathe, you get an ambulance, whether you think anything may be wrong or not. And he lost control of his bowels. You can go watch the tapes. It's out there. You can see that he's peed all over the place. There were visible signs to me, and I haven't been around that in 30, 40 years. He's supposed to be an active police officer who should know some basic signs of human distress. Let's say that.
This stuff sounds crazy to me. Listen, we've had a lot of conversations on George Floyd. I've never heard anybody suggest. I've heard people say that he took fentanyl. I've heard people say that he died of COVID. He died of an enlarged heart. They've said everything he's died of other than actually the guy's knee on his neck. But you're the first to suggest that he has a history of swallowing drugs when the police show up. I haven't seen that.
Yes. During traffic stops, yes. If he was being arrested, yes, they did say that. It's in all that the legal stuff. My mother's an attorney.
You know, the crazy thing is, I watched folks like Candace Owens, you know, who read George Floyd's entire, even she didn't bring nothing up like this. And I'm assuming she did plenty of research when she, made a video criticizing George Floyd. She brought up everything that was in that guy's rap sheet. She even did not say anything about him having a history of swallowing lethal cocktails when the police show up. I've never heard, you're the first person I've ever heard say this.
Well, I'm not saying he was trying to kill himself. He was trying not to go to jail.
No, I'm just simply saying I've never heard anybody that says he has a history of swallowing drugs when the police show up. I've never heard nobody say that.
It is evidence.
Okay. And on January 6th, you have no opinion at all of what that was?
First, this is my problem with January 6th. It was... The Democrats used it after Trump had lost the election and turned it into a witch hunt to make, I really don't even know. I mean, there are so many different accounts, and I wasn't there, but I saw footage too where they opened doors and let people in.
Why? But they had signs. They had signs there saying "Stop the steal." What was stolen?
Well, people believe that they were trying to steal the election. I personally think it was rigged to a degree, but not like everyone else thinks. I mean, you cannot rig a U.S. election 50 states wide, but because even, what's her name? She was leader of Congress at the time.
Nancy Pelosi.
Out of California. Nancy Pelosi. She is on record saying that they fortified certain states to make sure that it was a fair election. Now, why would you say that you fortified that state unless you mean, well, we rigged it a little bit? We made sure we got some extra mail-in ballots.
I'm going to use a term that the write-off says. I think you took her out of context to come up with that definition. I don't think saying you fortified the election means it was rigged in favor of the Democrats. I don't know where you're getting that one. I mean, that's a big stretch to suggest that fortifying means rigging. Now, President Trump said he won by a landslide, though. You're saying you believe that there's no way to rig all 50 states. So when Trump said he won by a landslide, are you saying that you don't believe him?
No. Which election?
2020.
During 2020? No. 2020, no. I think they could have won it without fortifying anything, but they didn't want to take a chance on that. That's why all these mail-in ballots.
Yeah, but I'm asking you. Trump said he won the 20. In fact, he's still saying he won the 2020 election by a landslide. Do you believe he's telling the truth?
I believe he thinks he's telling
the truth. I'm asking you, what do you think?
Elections. Well, wait a minute. Elections aren't won by popular vote. They're won by the Electoral College.
He said he won by a landslide.
I don't give a damn what he says. He can say whatever he wants.
But you do wait, hold on. You do realize the people that showed up on January 6th, the reason they were there only 2 months after the election, while Attorney General Barr was still investigating Trump's claims, is they believe what he said. They didn't have any proof. The people that were there only 2 months after the election, they didn't have any proof anything was being stolen. They were there because of what he said. He said he won by a landslide. Do you believe that?
No, I don't think he won by a landslide. Do I think he possibly won? I think he might have carried the Electoral College. I don't know about the popular vote, but I know that the Democrats had 20 million extra votes from 2020 to 2024. 20 million votes disappeared in 2024. You mean to tell me that 20 million Democrats didn't vote this time around?
It's possible.
And a lot of those ballots that are missing.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but the thing about it is Trump, he didn't say suspicious shit happened. He said I won by a landslide. So you're admitting then that he likely lied about that. You're saying that maybe he won by a little bit or something's pop, but you're admitting that he lied about saying he won by a landslide.
No, I'm saying I don't believe that. He can think whatever he wants to think.
Is it possible he can lie? Is it possible that Trump can tell a lie?
Anybody can lie.
Okay.
Yes. It
so
is possible.
So if it's been 5 years later, have you seen any evidence whatsoever to suggest he won by a landslide?
Yes, the 2024 election, because
it got nothing to do with it.
Shit out of him.
He ran against a totally different candidate. What does that got to do with 2020? Not to mention Biden's cognitive health was different from in 2020 to 2020. What does it got to do with 2020? They don't like you. They don't like what you say. They're trying to get you for they're trying to get you for misinformation. Go ahead.
Oh. Well, I didn't know I'd moved up in the world to try to get misinformation.
Anytime you say Trump won that election or you're hesitant on admitting that he's not telling the truth, TikTok doesn't like it. Maybe once Trump people take over TikTok, they'll change it. But right now they're sending me warnings about you. They don't like you. I'm gonna have to move it on because I don't want you to get I don't want you to get banned. I don't want to get banned. So I have to move it on. But Mr. Realistic, I don't know if that was realistic, by the way. I don't your name is Mr. Realistic.
That is correct, because I sent you the super chat about Memphis. That's why, because I live in Memphis and the Guard is here. I sent that to you on the Facebook a little bit earlier.
Okay.
And you were talking about that then. That was when Gangsta Grandma, my baby.
Yeah. Gangsta Grandma is an interesting caller. I'll go ahead and move it on, but I do believe I believe that sending the National Guard into any city is going to bring down crime at least a little bit. I do believe that. I just don't believe that that's the primary reason Trump is doing it. He's just using that as an excuse to get folks to agree with it. Because if he told you I'm sending in the National Guard to squelch protesters, it would be a clear violation of the First Amendment. So he's not going to say that, even though we've heard him on many cases indicate that he's taking away free speech, going after talk show hosts. I mean, going after people protesting on colleges and universities. The guy doesn't like free speech. I mean, he's made it clear. So that is the reason that the National Guard is going into these cities. But you can say it's lowering crime because it's going to do that too. I'll give you the last word.
All right. Well, before we go, and I appreciate you. You are the Black Joe Rogan, man.
Oh my God! I'll take it. I'll take that. I'll take that. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I will tell you this. This is what is physically happening here in Memphis with the National Guard. They're downtown walking around the pyramid where the Bass Pro Shop is, more or less ushering people in to go get freaking fishing lures and freeing up Memphis City cops that normally have to patrol down there to keep them from breaking into cars. And our Memphis City police are out busting ass right now. You do not speed or anything else, and they got all the other little, all the 3-digit letter agencies out with them too. And I am grateful. I can find, just trying to come home, I don't have to worry about little Ray Ray doing donuts in the middle of Winchester at every red light, because that seriously happens every 2 months. And they'll do it through 3 or 4 red lights, and me and everybody else are sitting there like, is this freaking real? And the cops haven't really done anything about it, but now they are. I'm freaking thankful for it. And if you live in an area where stuff like this is going on, you need to ask your city council to bring those people in there. And
I would rather ask my city council to allocate more money to expand the police force so that it would include people that are from the area, people that are trained in policing. I don't need people in camouflage with rifles. That is not what I want. Humvees and shit like that. Give me cops, the people that are trained to deal with this stuff. I don't want the National Guard there. That's just, we had a difference of opinion on that. But I got to move it on, Mr. Realistic. Appreciate you coming in.
I understand. Memphis is down 500 officers, though, so keep that in mind. Peace to you, man. I love you.
Anytime. Thank you. Appreciate you coming through. Real quick in the comments, Starch Manning says you cannot spell hate without red hat. I've heard that from a few viewers. Wow. Some folks have said, you know, I got folks who have stated that this hat, this MAGA hat, or even the bigger letter MAGA hat behind me, or the Keep America Great hat, any of these hats are likely to go down in history being viewed the same way the Confederate flag is. You guys let me know. What do you think? Yes or no? By way of yes or no in the comments, do you believe that this hat will go down in history as opposed to being an artifact of a presidential campaign as a symbol of hate? Because that is, there are some folks who tell you, swear up and down, that the Confederate flag heritage and not hate, but it is overwhelmingly in America considered as a symbol of hate. You're not going to operate any major Fortune 500 company with that flag outside. Fortune 500 companies have the American flag outside. Put that flag up outside of your company and your business is going to take a real big downturn, unless all of your business is in the South, in the rural South. But anyway, looking in the comments, how many of you folks believe this hat, by way of yes or no in the comments, will go down in history as a symbol of hate? Wow. I see a lot of folks are saying yes. A lot of folks. Wow. Can't spell demon without Pride Month. Oh my God. Now, this individual spelled out the word Pride Month. Pride. That's ending pride. And then the first three letters of month, M-O-N, are capitalized. So you got demon is in the middle of that. If you spell Pride Month as one word, demon is in the middle of that. So he countered by saying you can't spell Pride Month without demon. Wow, that's, hey, look, that is a counter. That's a mean counter. Anyway, Democrats is more like it. Democrats, I guess you're talking about. Okay, anyway, folks. Jeez. I appreciate the 145. Did we reach the TikTok cap goal? I don't know. But I do appreciate you guys riding with your boy. You know, we don't block, ban, or censor. The program has always been that way. Always will be that way. We're getting pretty divided in this country. Not like we weren't already divided. We've been divided since Obama, some would say, but it's gotten way, way worse, particularly in recent times. So I don't know if there's any hope towards any unity anytime in the near future, but I don't see it. Nevertheless, I appreciate you folks that tune in and we engage in conversation on all sides of the aisle. I do believe everybody has the right to speak, and I will always continue doing that. Nevertheless, I do have to step away. It's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. I will catch you guys tomorrow. You guys have a good night and take care. And thank you folks on YouTube as well. Catch y'all tomorrow. Feel free to follow the program. Give your boy a sub if you like what we do. Thank you on Instagram as well.